you help me find a husband?
It ain't the oldest. It ain't the youngest. It's the treatment. It's not the oldest, Amber. It's not the good-looking one, Amber. It's not the one got money, Amber. It's the one honest.
And not too many of them honest nowadays.
It's some good men out there. But what it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women going bad. The women's going bad. It ain't the men's now. It's the women done gone bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah, it's the women done gone bad.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care no more.
But that's when the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your husband respect to get respect.
Most men in this room and most online will tell you that all of their life, they have been the last thing to be considered. Everything comes before man. We even got statements like, ladies first, happy wife. And even parents teach their sons, let them go first. And so in every step of his life, he's always last. Women get in the club for free. Now we got to buy bottles at $1,500 a pop so all of the women can drink for free. Remember when I read the text didn't say we were made for y'all. The Bible says she was made for him. And by the way, if you go and look in the Old Testament, whenever a man and woman was married in the Old Testament, a woman stood at the altar and the man walked down the aisle. But now here comes, if you don't believe me, the church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. And the last I saw, the church is here waiting on the groom to come. So if you want us to love you like God loved the church, why we always doing the waiting?
Children learn how to treat their fathers by watching their mothers do it. And ladies, I know you might want to tap out right now, but if you stick around, I'm gonna say something that's gonna help you. Children are emotional sponges. And even when you are not sitting them down to teach them a lesson, they are learning about love, partnership, and respect.
Last one, grab it!
Sir, please!
Don't push.
Don't push!
Attention shoppers. Additional turkeys are being brought to the front of aisle 12. Please remember.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off. If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching this video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Well, it appears that things are beginning to get more and more ominous, to say the least. President Trump, if you guys, whether or not you guys know it or not, has decided to cut food stamps, and modern women are beginning to crash out. But before we get deep into the video, hit the like button and share the stream. All over the news, we're beginning to see a lot of women crashing out because of what Trump is beginning to do with food stamps and also housing more particularly.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting damn November? Cause I'm getting my rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus love. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet and groceries. Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human motherfucker? Because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that groceries, then I get every goddamn body. Okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering? so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass. Shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's them goddamn SNAP benefits off, I can tell you that.
Hey, so I work for the welfare office in my local county. I'm in Pennsylvania, and we received an email today, this afternoon, that SNAP benefits, food stamp benefits, if the federal government is still shut down, will not be released in November, and that any applications after the 15th, which were 2 days ago, will not be issued. So it is true. I know we're seeing a lot of different stuff online, articles, but it is true. I've been officially notified as an employee with the state at the welfare office. So if the federal government does not come up and running as of November, food stamps will not be issued.
So this is for y'all that don't know.
All right, guys, we're going to get into it. Thank you guys for the 6 that are watching. Guys, share the stream for me, share the stream. And I want to do this show, guys, because this more or less harkens into about the importance of family, the importance of strong tradition, and also it harkens to the importance of having masculine men in your life. You know, we've talked about it, guys, several times in the past. Some have said that winter was coming. And one of the things I've learned, guys, as a therapist, having a two-parent home is not a guarantee the kids don't go astray. It's not a guarantee the kids are not going to deal with any economic hardship. It's not a guarantee. But what it does do, it helps raise the bar, or there's a high level of success where there's a two-parent home versus a single-parent home. And a lot of these women that are crashing out, they're putting their kids at risk for mental health disorders, for food insecurity, for higher recidivist rates, and also for lower socioeconomic backgrounds. There's a strong correlation where there's a man and a woman working together, like Black people worked together before the Lyndon B. Johnson's administration, and currently now where not only Black folks, but white people too, are in quagmires where children are not being protected and being provided for. And so as a therapist, we look at things what's called risk factors and also protective factors. Children are at greater risk of poverty, mental disorders, higher recidivism, obesity, food insecurity, truancy, delinquency rates, lack of educational attainment, where there are no fathers involved in the house. And now we're beginning to see how the level of entitlement has more or less presented itself at an all-time high. And so the purpose of this show is to talk about how Trump is cutting back on EBT, how family is important, because I told you guys that there are 7 steps to male optimization. One of those 7 steps, or several of those 7 steps, is family and also politics. And right now you're seeing how the Trump administration is cutting back on unnecessary government spending. You don't have to like Trump. You don't have to agree with his politics. But if you're a hardworking American, Black or white or indifferent, you understand that there's a percentage of white folks and Black folks that are abusing the system, and now some are so emboldened and entitled, they think that they deserve government assistance. We're not talking about old people, disabled people, or people that need temporary assistance. We're talking about people that have been abusing the system for the last couple of years, and now they think they deserve the best. But imagine if these women were centered and grounded, if their mothers and their grandmothers, or some of the women from the past, told them to prioritize family over career, prioritize community over career. And not to say not to get a career, but you put family at the forefront, because Amazon has announced here recently that they're laying off over 10,000, I think over 600,000 people. And so what we're beginning to see now with the rise of AI, some theologians believe it's part of the last days. Some say we're in the latter part of the last days, which I do agree. I do believe that. And nothing is secure anymore. But when you have a husband and a wife working together, 2 are better than 1. But see, when you got excessive narcissism or entitlement, the women minimize their husbands. And the man that should have been the government for the Black woman should have been the Black husband. or the black man, them working together as a team like they were before Jim Crow racism. But they were compromised. You begin to see the manifestation of that compromise. And then you're beginning to see some try to reach back because they won't support. And a lot of guys are saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm not reaching back. There's no benefit to reaching back. And I'm going to focus on myself because nobody wants to be used. Nobody wants to be abused. Nobody wants to be disrespected. And what you're seeing now, these women prioritize family like women did in the past. You won't be having the situation that you're having now. So I'm going to go back and look at this elderly woman, and she's going to prove my point as to if these women have had husbands and had a good man, they won't be going to do what they're going to do now.
Why don't you help me find a husband?
It ain't the oldest, it ain't the youngest. It's the treatment. It's not the oldest, Amber. It's not the good-looking one, Amber. It's not the one got money, Amber. It's the one honest.
And not too many of them honest nowadays.
There's some good men out there. But what it is.
And I do believe there are some good men out here. I believe I will argue that the level of good men is probably higher than the level of good women. But those good men many times are looked over because they don't meet the unrealistic standards of a lot of these modern women. And so, as this elderly woman said, that there are some good men out here. There are some good men that could have made some of these women, or put some of these women in wholesome relationships. But now they've made a lot of bad choices. They've abused themselves. They're giving their bodies to multiple people. They have a lot of kids, a lot of emotional scarring for dealing with lazy men. And now they're in the economic crunch. And we understand that the government shutdown is going to be for 1 month. I believe it's only for 1 month. But that can still be a lot of trauma for a child in a family or an environment where there are multiple kids that need food and assistance.
Now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women going bad. The women's going bad. It ain't the men's now. It's the women done gone bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah, it's the women done gone bad.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't.
She said you're a woman yourself. What is a woman? What does you being a woman yourself got to do with doing what's right? And sadly, a lot of these women put their gender above what's right. They put their gender above what's right. Gender has nothing to do with being a righteous woman. But you know, she said you're a woman yourself. What does that have to do with I'm doing the right thing? And one will argue it has nothing to do with doing the right thing. But see, sadly, guys, here in the confines of America, there's a percentage of women that believe that they're beyond reproach, that you can't say anything about them, you can't do anything to them, and that you must allow them to continue to cause chaos in the communities, cause chaos in their home life, and not say anything. Because if you say anything, your mama's black. your mama's black if you say anything. And these are the issues that we need to continue to work on and work through because many are trying to reach back. And a lot of men are saying, you know what, I'm good. I'm not reaching back. My focus is my money. My focus is myself.
Do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care no more.
That's when the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your husband respect to get respect.
Most men in this room and most online will tell you that all of their life, they have been the last thing to be considered. Everything comes before man. We even got statements like, ladies first, happy wife. And even parents teach their sons, let them go first. And so in every step of his life, he's always last. Women get in the club for free. Now we got to buy bottles at $1,500 a pop so all of the women can drink for free. Remember when I read the text didn't say we were made for y'all. The Bible says she was made for him. And by the way, if you go and look in the old...
Imagine women understood the importance, guys, of honoring men, extolling them, venerating them in a healthy way. Imagine if that was done on a consistent basis. Imagine what it would do to communities and what it would do for families overall if women consistently venerated their husbands, and showed them a high level of respect. A lot of those women would not be in the predicament that they are in now. Are there men that are outliers that get with good women, they still do stupid stuff? Yes. But in general, those men are probably the exception, not the rule.
Testament. Whenever a man and woman was married in the Old Testament, a woman stood at the altar and the man walked down the aisle. But now here comes, if you don't believe me, the church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. And the last I saw, the church is here waiting on the groom to come. So if you want us to love you like God loved the church, why are we always doing the waiting?
Children learn how to treat their fathers by watching their mothers do it. And ladies, I know you might want to tap out right now, but if you stick around, I'm going to say something that's going to help you. Children are emotional sponges. And even when you are not sitting them down to teach them a lesson, they are learning about love, partnership, and respect in the way that they are nurtured by you. If they are constantly watching their mother dismiss their father, talk down to him, or use a certain tone or body language towards him, that becomes the blueprint. This is not a one-sided game. I understand that this can go both ways, right? But that's not the issue we're dealing with today. Let's stay on topic. For most women, respect is not automatic. It is rooted in a deep level of admiration. Most women need to feel that their man is better than them in some way in order to deeply respect him. I'm not talking about the general respect we give to all people. I'm talking about the level of respect that you give to the man in your life who you're saying is going to lead you, protect you, and who you're saying you're going to honor. And when I say better, I don't mean it in the sense that he's superior or controlling. I simply mean that he's admirable. He's emotionally disciplined, competent, decisive, protective, and grounded. Psychology backs this up. Studies show that respect within relationship stems from the perceived level of competence, integrity, and strength of character. Studies have even found that when women perceive that their partners are lacking discipline, direction, or ambition, contempt and dissatisfaction begin to rise sharply. And according to John Gottman, those are two of the strongest indicators for relationship breakdown. It is extremely difficult to respect a man that you do not look up to in at least one.
And a lot of these women fundamentally don't look up to their men, not because anything is wrong with some of these men. Some of them might not know how to lead, but a lot of them don't look up to their men because they think by default that they are better than their men. And so the entitlement, the narcissistic traits has made a lot of modern women think they're better than the men. It's called a disequilibrium in relationships. And once again, guys, this is what we predicted that would happen. Many men in male spaces predicted this was what would happen. And you're beginning to see the manifestations of it more so now than at any time, sadly, in human history. You're beginning to see the manifestation of it now. And a lot of folks don't like it. And so many can say they bought it on themselves. A lot of these women that are by themselves were never taught to treat men right. We were always taught to treat women right and put women at the forefront. And that doesn't make for good relationships. And like the young lady said about Gottman, Dr. John Gottman, I actually took one of the courses, some of the first phase of being a licensed, being a marriage therapist or giving marriage therapy. I went to Punta Cana, DR. And part of the Gottman method, it talked about in order to have intimacy, you must have compromise. A lot of modern women don't want compromise. And the lack of compromise has led to high entitlement and excessive narcissistic traits. And you're beginning to see them crash out because a lot of them are left uncovered because now where their provision should have came from their men, the black man, the government is shutting down. And now those same women that said they were strong and independent are going through a mental health crisis. And sadly, their children will too.
One area. And when there is no respect, even in the moments when you may try to hide it, it shows to the people around you, to your partner, and to your children, if you have them. By default, your children will see who you listen to, who you honor, who you roll your eyes at. They pick up on it all. That's why it matters who you choose. You can't just go for who chooses you. As women, sometimes we give away our autonomy too quickly for fear of the timelines that we've placed on ourselves. And we end up settling for men we don't respect. Admiration is something that is naturally occurring. You shouldn't really have to work too hard at respect.
And guys, you got to be careful now, more so than ever, Because there are going to be women that want to get back in relationships with you or come back to you, but they don't really respect you. They're just desperate. They're desperate for help. They're desperate for support. They're desperate for provision. And this is what happens after many give their virtue away. Um, they come to you in the latter parts of their lives, looking for you to be the cleanup man, looking for you to provide provision and protection. Um, and any man that has any level of self-esteem or self-worth is not going to fall for this, to say the least.
Your man. You can't raise respectful children in a home where disrespect is the daily language. You cannot teach honor if it's not present in your own partnership. And everyone gets hurt in situations like that. You, your partner, and eventually your children. So ladies, use your free will for something good today. So much can be avoided simply through good decision making.
The men that y'all claim don't exist no more, I had that type of man. I had him. And I lost him because I was stupid, foolish, young, immature, possessive, mean, with a nasty attitude, ungrateful, entitled, and ignorant. I had a good man. And I lost him because I, first of all, was shocked that I even got somebody like that. I had never had nobody like that before. And I went into overdrive just doing stupid shit to try to control him and put my claws in him, and it was unnecessary because I had somebody who loved me for real and did not cheat. Loyal. Oh, loyal. If you got some man like that, please do the work. Be appreciative and be grateful. Don't be entitled. Do kind and nice things for him. Don't just be a taker. Give back. Respect him. Oh, respect him. Because that man, baby, he gone. He with a new woman. And she looked happy as hell. She looked happy as I did when I was with him. I'm happy for her. You live, you learn. But I'm here to tell you, you guys always say, oh, there's no good men that don't exist. They exist, but they are rare. And if they came into your life, take this message as go get some therapy, go get some help, go heal, go work on yourself, and pour back into that man. Because a good man will wake up one day. Good men are not blinded to the fact that they are a wonderful person to be with. They just love your ass. And when they love you, they stay and they stay and they stay and they stay because they hoping you will get it together one day. They're not staying with you because they don't know that they're a good man and they may not be able to get anything else.
And a lot of men have stayed with women hoping that they get it together, only to come to a point and say, you know what, enough is enough. And what you're beginning to see now to those men that are single, they're beginning to choose themselves. It's nothing more powerful than seeing a man and a woman together, working together as a team, loving one another, respecting one another. It's nothing more powerful. Nothing is more powerful than seeing that. But with automation taking over jobs in the future, nobody's job is guaranteed, including my job, including your job. Nobody's job is guaranteed. But if you've been working together over the years, living beneath your means, saving your money, investing, then you can greatly reduce some of the things that are going on now, because nothing in this day and age now is certain but death and taxes.
Oh, baby, he know. He counting down on your clock. He counting down on your clock. So work on yourself. Don't lose no good man, because I'm going to tell you, they are rare. And since I've been out here in these streets, it ain't nothing for me in these streets. They all trash. That's all. That's the tea. That's the word. I hope.
Now she beginning to realize that nothing in these streets but trash. And a lot of these women should have gotten good men in their 20s, in their early stages of their lives, but they didn't. Now they're beginning to suffer financial hardship, mental hardship, lack of being covered, because they were flexing when they were getting government money, and they thought they were better than average, hardworking, blue-collar black men. And this is why men need to maintain a level of respect for themselves and not revert back to trying to help these women in their lives, because many times these unions are not genuine. It's only for survival.
I can help somebody today.
How about you help?
So let's get to the point, guys, about this food stamp crisis and what's going on with that, because we know that the food stamp crisis is crazy.
Last one, grab it! Sir, please! Don't push!
Attention shoppers. Additional turkeys are being brought to the front of aisle 12. Please remember.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
She says the taxpayer responsibility. This is what these lazy heifers do: lay on their back, get all these kids out of wedlock, and they want you to take your hard-earned money and pay for their kids. I'm not talking about disabled men and women. I'm not talking about folks that need temporary assistance. I'm talking about folks that live on the system, have lived on the system for years, and have abused the system, like selling food stamps. But then all of a sudden, it's the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of all their children. And people like this put their children at risk for a lot of mental health issues, guys.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching this video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Well, it appears that things are beginning to get more and more ominous, to say the least. President Trump, if you guys, whether or not you guys know it or not, decided to cut food stamps, and modern women are beginning to crash out. But before we get deep into the video, hit the like button and share the stream. All over the news, we're beginning to see a lot of women crashing out because of what Trump has begun to do with food stamps and also housing more particularly.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting
Look at Porky Pig crashing out, guys. Look at Porky Pig crashing out. Porky Pig thinks she's entitled to government spending. Porky Pig thinks she's entitled to SNAP benefits. Look at her crashing out. Look at how ignorant, not ignorant, but ignorant she is. A woman thinks she's entitled to your money, to your labor, to your capital. And this is what you guys see now: incessant narcissism or incessant narcissistic traits.
damn November? Cause I'm getting my.
And I had to edit this, guys, because this woman's mouth is very nasty and very disrespectful.
Rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet. And
see, guys, there's a term I created called the hopocalypse. What you see now, guys, is what's called the hopocalypse. When these chicks gave all their virtue away, have defiled themselves, have had a bunch of kids out of wedlock, and they're going through what's called a hopocalypse. What you're seeing now, guys, is consistent with the hopocalypse. And all this stuff could have been abated if they had a guy with a solid man, worked together in black love and black unity, built strong communities, respected men. But see, the black man wasn't their government or their provider. The U.S. government was their provider. And now they're going through what's called a hopocalypse. Some of them are going to be selling their bodies for food. And they're crashing out because a lot of guys are indifferent. And a lot of the men now, some of the men have saved their money, but Some of the men don't even have any money. It ain't just the women. Some of these men ain't got money either because the economy is crazy. People are losing jobs. AI is taking over. Amazon just laid off 600,000 people. But this is what happens when you have what's called the whole apocalypse. That's a new term that I created. You hear anybody else saying it, they stole it from me. But it's called the whole apocalypse. And this is what you're seeing. Entitled women that some may at some point give their bodies to multiple men. Theology said, guys, that there will be a time where there will be 7 women to 1 man. I believe this is going to happen during the apocalypse, and I call it the whole apocalypse because men are going to be trying to sell their bodies for survival. A lot of these women are wishing they had a strong, solid man and a good relationship, but they can't get in good relationships because they've been imprinted by so many men. Yeah, she is a mess, Bashur. Shout out to Bashur. Shout out to that sister. But yeah, she is a whole mess. Shout out to Bashur.
Groceries. Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human
She said she gonna turn into a rhinoceros. She gonna turn into a rhinoceros. She said she 250 pounds solid. She gonna turn into a rhinoceros and an Alabama crimson tide elephant, and she gonna bust through. She gonna bust through those food lots, and she gonna demand that somebody feed her and all her children. Not children, but children, guys. She wants y'all hard-earned money, and she's going to demand that the world take care of her and all of her children.
That's what the fuck I'm going to turn into if you think you're going to stop me from leaving out that goddamn groceries. Did I get every goddamn...
Well, what man in his right mind would to deal with all this toxic drama, man? Life is hard enough as it is as a man, guys. This woman will lower your testosterone. She'll allow the cortisol to rush through your body, and you will die off early. You'll be a shell of a man. I'm sticking with women like this.
Goddamn body, okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering? I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass, shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like it's them goddamn SNAP benefits off, I can tell you that.
And guys, this is what you guys have to deal with. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button, share the stream, donate to the channel, guys. I know everybody's struggling, but it takes a lot of time putting these shows together. But hit the like button, guys. Donate to the channel. If you don't have any money, share the stream. Listen, guys, did y'all know that this StreamYard yearly plan now, StreamYard went from being like $220 back in the day to $431 a year. It went from going to $220 a year to almost doubling in price. So if you like what I'm doing, share the stream. But I got the free plan for right now. I'll go back at some point and probably buy it for $438. But I'm not kicking out $438 if I'm not seeing a return on my investment. That's a lot of money for StreamYard if there's not a strong return on my investment. But this is what happens, guys, because a lot of these women are going through what's called the whole apocalypse. That's a term that I created. If you hear anybody using that term, that they stole it from me. But it's the whole apocalypse, and it's consistent to what theology said about there will be a time where there will be 7 women to 1 man, and they're all going to want clothing, protection, and shelter. But Shua said, being 250 pounds solid as a woman is not a flex. Definitely not a flex. But she thinks it's a flex from all that food she's been eating, and want you, me, and everybody else to pay for her food stamps and her bastard children.
Hey, so I work for the welfare office in my local county. I'm in Pennsylvania, and we received an email this afternoon, that SNAP benefits, food stamp benefits, if the federal government is still shut down, will not be released in November, and that any applications after the 15th, which were 2 days ago, will not be issued. So it is true. I know we're seeing a lot of different stuff online, articles, but it is true. I've been officially notified as an employee with the state at the welfare office. So if the federal government does not come up and running as of November, food stamps will not be issued.
So this is for y'all that don't know how much baby milk actually costs and why we need the WIC.
And you know what the crazy thing is, guys? They don't really need baby milk. The best milk for a baby is breast milk. not Similac, not formula. It's breast milk. That's what ancestors gave to their children years ago. When women breastfeed, it helps the uterus shrink. My wife breastfed all her kids. It helps the uterus shrink. It's more healthier for the baby. It makes the children smarter. It greatly reduces the risk of cancer. And also, it helps the woman lose weight faster. And so you don't need that. If you're going to breastfeed, give your baby polyvisol. It's vitamin D to help the baby bones grow. But the best milk for a baby is not the synthetic stuff, but it's from her breast. God made women's breasts for breast milk and also to please the husband. And so you don't need government assistance. Just eat healthy, eat clean, have a high protein lead diet, and give your baby breast milk. You don't need the government for breast milk. You don't need it.
Program, which is set to be, the funding is set to be cut off next month. Just one of these. Look at these prices, y'all. $44. This is how much in do you guys know how long it takes to go through a can of this? Like, this is crazy. Look at this little can, and certain babies need specific types of milk. This is $61 for one container. $52, you guys. $60. This is why we need the WIC program, you guys. There is no way possible that these women are going to be able to afford this milk.
Well, hold up. These women said they were strong and they were independent, and they didn't need a man. They said they were strong, independent, and they don't need a man. So if you're strong, independent, and don't need a man, because see, then you don't have to worry about breast milk. You don't have to worry about food insecurities or food insufficiency. Shout out to Rhonda Payne 2195. I saw you on my man Dr. L show last night. Shout out to you, Rhonda Payne, for tapping in. Thank you for tapping in. But this is what happens, guys, when you get a generation of women that have been compromised by the government. They've been compromised by entitlements and arrogance. They've been compromised by minimizing the importance of black families and black men. And when they more or less subjugated their God-given right, which would, listen, if a woman wants to get a career, that's her right. But your first purpose was not your career. Your first purpose was to bear the seed of your husband. But this is what's happening now. They're beginning to crash out. They don't know what's going to happen. Food insecurity, food insufficiency, and righteous women like my friend Bashur. She got a husband. She got a husband. She's eating kosher food. She's eating healthy. She's not worried about that. My wife is not worried about it. She ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about it. And I'm not saying it can't hurt me either, because it can get me too. But right now, I'm not worried about nothing. I'm not in a lot of debt. I drive old cars. I pay for everything cash. I just bought my wife a new dryer, or bought the family a new dryer. That dryer was about $1,600, paid for it cash, because I saved and worked hard for it. I bought her a Breville oven. If you guys know anything about Breville, Breville is high end. It's a convection oven and air fryer. Paid for it cash, over $400. And the problem is, Rhonda, a lot of these women don't need breasts. They don't need synthetic formula. God gave women breasts for a reason. If they're breastfeeding, give the baby polyvisol. As I said earlier, if you just can't, you guys just coming in, give the baby polyvisol. Get you a good breast pump, or go to a place where you can rent a breast pump. Eat a high protein meal, and that breast milk will help you lose that weight. Breast milk is the best thing for a baby, and it's the best thing for a woman's body too. But sure, said, I'm glad that you mentioned earlier this not being addressed to the elderly. As many FIL get only $25 in food stamps. Knowing this, my husband sends his money every month. Knowing this, my husband sends him money every month for groceries. Hold up. Coach, I'm glad you mentioned this earlier, that this is not being addressed to the elderly as, what is FIL? FIL gets only $25 in food stamps. Knowing this, my husband sends his money every month for grocery. Yeah, the cost of formula is crazy. Unless there's an issue with a woman who cannot breastfeed. Yeah, I totally agree. Right. Illness, mastectomy, it should be no excuse for not breastfeeding. And yeah, right, and it's free. Yep. Father-in-law. Okay, that's what. Okay, father-in-law. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. Her father-in-law. Thank you, Rhonda. Only gets to, wow, that's nothing. $25 for food stamps. That's nothing. Bashir said my husband loves Breville appliance. We had a Breville food processing juice. Yeah, Breville is expensive, but you know how Leo's do, Bashir. We don't like cheap stuff. So I got my wife one. It cost me over $400, but like the Speed Queen that I got, the Speed Queen dryer. If you're going to get a washer or a dryer, don't buy the modern appliances because they're not making them to last long. They might last anywhere from 5 to 7 years. You might pay about $1,500 for a Speed Queen, but it's worth it. If you're going to get any appliance, get you a Speed Queen washer and a dryer. I got my wife a Speed Queen washer and I got a Speed Queen dryer. I bought the dryer. I bought the washer about 2 years ago, and I bought the dryer a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago. And years ago, back in, I think it was 98, when my oldest daughter was born, I think it was like in 1998 or 99, I bought a Whirlpool. That Whirlpool lasted me for about 25 years. The dryer that's conked out, we got that back in, I think, 2000. That dryer lasted me, guys, for over 2,000 years. Not 2,000, I said 2,000 years. The dryer lasted for over 25 years too. So they don't make washers and dryers like they did 20 years ago. It's made of a lot of cheap plastic. A lot of it's tied to the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and they only make it to last for a short amount of time. If you're going to get appliances, get you something made in America and get you a Speed Queen. No different than the trucks. These new trucks might be fancy and pretty, but they don't last as long as the older trucks. I had a head-on collision back in 2006 before my mom died. I got a GMC Yukon Denali with 20-inch rims on it, Escalade rims. I love the truck. The truck is a beautiful truck. And that's what I wrote. Shout out to my man Ray Johnson. He's the #1 sponsor of the stream. Ray Johnson just hit me in the head for a $30 cash out. Shout out to brother Ray Johnson. He's been showing so much love. That's my brother, my friend. Him and I, we talk all the time in the background. Shout out to my good friend brother Ray Johnson. And Ray Johnson, thank you for showing love and support. Guys, I know times are tight for people, and so anytime you guys show love and support and donate, I greatly appreciate it. Rhonda said that won't even cover a week's worth of groceries. Yeah, it won't. It's nothing. You can't do nothing with 20. That's a one-day meal. $25 is just a one-day meal. You can't do nothing with that with money that low. I agree with you 100%.
That is ridiculous. They are setting us up for failure.
Okay, so we're kind of in trouble. The USDA just sent out a nationwide notice saying that every state that participates in SNAP is not to dispense any SNAP funds November 1st. Like literally a direct notice to not dispense any SNAP. So whatever you got now, you hold on to it. If you just received it, buy smart, buy rice, buy beans, anything that's shelf stable. Whatever you get with your benefits this month needs to be shelf stable. That is top priority. Get in touch with your local pantries, because I know that I am. That's for
Yeah. You want to get stable food. Bashir said most of my appliances in our home is Samsung. We have a Samsung refrigerator, stove, dishwasher. Well, listen, kudos to you, Bashir, but from I'll talk with maintenance guys, and Samsung, LG has a lot of high tech stuff. The bells and whistles, it's nice, but a lot of, from what I've heard by talking to yours might be doing fine, but a lot of repairmen say they tend not to last as long. And then if you do, get them, they tend to break down a lot. But let's say if you had yours for 5 or 7 years, kudos to you. But a lot of them are not. They don't make appliances to last no more than 5 to 7 years. But if yours happen to break down, your washer, your dryer, in the future, I would suggest that you and your husband look into a Speed Queen. You can't go wrong with a Speed Queen because it's commercial grade and they're built to last for 20 to 25 years. I mean, 25 to 30 years. You'll never have to buy another washer or dryer again if you get you a Speed Queen. I promise you, you won't. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're made of steel and metal. Yeah, there you go, but you're right. Speed Queen was at the laundromat. You're 100% correct. They're commercial grade. Anytime you go to washer and dryer, you want to make sure it's commercial grade. It's heavy too. I pulled both of mine upstairs. I don't even know how I did it, but I was able to get a dolly, and it was upstairs, and I pulled both of them upstairs. And but like I said, if you're going to get one in the future, get you a Speed Queen. You can't go wrong with a Speed Queen. Rhonda Payne said that my Kenmore washer lasted me 20 years, just replaced with a Samsung set in 2020. Well, listen, Kenmore was made by Maytag, I believe. I think Kenmore was made by Maytag. Maytag sold the brand, and Speed Queen bought out Maytag. But Kenmore, Whirlpool, and all of them are all under the same brand. But I say, Rhonda, keep your fingers crossed because those Samsungs tend to break down a lot. Them Samsungs or LGs, because they got a lot of plastic and a lot of computer crap. But if it breaks down in the next 5 or 6 years, I wouldn't buy another Samsung if I were you guys. You are for sure. Do your research and get you a Speed Queen. Yeah, smartphone. Right. I see. Yeah, right. I see your point. Right. Yeah. Yeah, my husband's Dave. Okay, having a smart. Okay, yeah, respect. I respect that. Yeah. Don't take my word for it, Rhonda. Do the research on it. Listen. I've done the research on this stuff extensive. It's a term called planned obsolescence. They don't make this stuff to last long. Most of these dryers, most of this stuff now is only made to last for a couple of years, 5 to 7 years max. But you can't go wrong with a Speed Queen because it's not made of plastic; it's made of steel. And I can show you guys a picture of mine, but mine is top of the line. It's digital. I think I probably spent over $3,000. And I think the next appliance I'm going to get, dishwasher, is going to be a Miele. You can get a Miele. You can get a Miele or Asco. And Bosch is okay too. But Miele is Swedish, and Miele is very expensive. But you want to get the best appliance that can last longer. You're going to pay more up front, but it'll last a lot longer. Give you guys an example while we're talking about food and appliances. I bought a Vitamix blender back in 2013 when I was in grad school at UNC. It was a Chef Series blender, and I've had that blender for, 10, 12. I've had that blender for at least 15 years, 12 years or more. It cost me over $700, but it's commercial grade, it's heavy, it's stainless steel on the outside, and it's a Chef Series blender. You always pay more up front for stuff like Vitamix, Cuisinart, Breville, but it tends to last a lot longer than a lot of this other cheap crap. So you get what you pay for. But once again, shout out to Brother Ray Johnson for that $30 cash up. Shout out to him.
November 1st, they're going to cut off SNAP benefits. This is going to have major effect on all of us, guys, not just the people who are losing their benefits. Because you need to think, all these people who are losing the ability to buy food when the economy is already in the gutter and things are already at just ridiculous pricing. How do you think that they're going to survive? What's next? Theft? They're going to have to start stealing food, which means prices are going to raise, which means they will lock things up, which means we might be in martial law a lot sooner than we thought. Because when they have to start controlling the food centers, the Walmarts, martial law, that's when bread lines and everything will start. Okay. When the food centers are no longer secure, that's when your lockdowns will really begin. And when you take the SNAP benefits away from all these people who already have nowhere else to turn.
And I'm going to tell you guys something. If you don't have your gun, you need to get you a gun. You need to go to the range and start practicing. You need to get you a military grade knife or something. But I got me some heat. I got some nice heat too. And I'm thinking about buying some more heat. Military grade stuff, man. You want to always have your head on a swivel because a man's job is to protect his family, to protect his wife. And that's why I believe in working out, eating clean, eating healthy, good nutrition. That's what a man's responsibility is. You can't be a warrior if you're not taking care of your woman. And a lot of this food now is processed, heavily processed, and a lot of men are stressed out due to stress, jobs, And also the food is lowering men's testosterone levels, which greatly reduce their ability to provide and protect their women.
What do you think is going to be the result of this? These people are going to get into survival mode here soon. Whether they come to the stores and start rioting and ransacking the shelves in the stores, or they start coming to your cupboards, they're going to come looking for food here soon, because that's survival. Guys, this isn't good. This isn't good. And I hope that you guys are having discussions within your community about how to take care of one another. This economy is in the gutter. It's done. And they're going to flip the switch here soon. All right? They're lining up all the dominoes and they're knocking them down. And unless you are a billionaire, you are going to be affected by this. You are going to have a lifestyle change. We're talking about a financial reset, a world currency reset. This isn't done every couple years. This is very...
And many people believe it's by design, it's strategic. Look up Charles Schwab. Many people believe that it's going to lead to what many theologians that believe in eschatology, a one world order, a one world government under what some call the Antichrist. I know it sounds crazy, but I believe we're in the latter part of the last days. I believe the government is setting up things to make you reliant upon them, and they're doing everything in their power to put you in a situation or a circumstance where you compromise your freedom for survival. But women that had opportunities to get husbands, women that mocked Kevin Samuels, he said for years that winter was coming, and winter is here. It's here now. It's here. The woman Parker talked about she wished she had her a strong black man, but it's here now. And once I get off this live, I'm going to work out. I'm going to lift some weights. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to get me some protein. Actually, I had some old dry beans I need to go and get some more of that. But you got to get your head on the swivel, guys, because we're living in some crazy times, man. We're living in crazy times, and it's going to take community to help people get past this crisis that's going on now. Because some folks are going to get desperate. They're going to start breaking into folks' houses. But they can break in mine if they want to. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to let peace be still. I'm going to be ready for them. But sure said, let's do the stream. I'm out in my garden now harvesting potatoes, lima beans, and sweet potato. Yeah, I've seen your garden. You got a beautiful garden. Quiet Faith's a clash for clunkers. Set up a plan. Set up for planned obsolescence for vehicles in 2020. All these cars now are scrap. Yep. You're right, Quiet Faith. I agree with you 100%. They are scrap. Yep, 100%. Good point, brother. You're right. You're 100% correct.
Very monumental, guys. So please take this very serious. This isn't conspiracy. This isn't, we've been hearing this forever. No, you're watching it in real time now, guys. And things don't happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day, and it's not reset and destroyed in a day.
Did you guys realize that there's so many people talking about the food stamp cut that's going on, as far as like people not getting their food stamps for the month of November? But what I'm gonna say is probably not going to benefit you or change the narrative of what's going on for the month of November. But what I am going to say is that you guys realize that around the first of the month, when the majority of people get their food stamps around the first of the month, not everybody, some people get them like on the 3rd, the 15th. It all depends. I don't know if it goes by your last name or what, but majority, if not all of these grocery stores around the U.S., they depend on those billions of dollars worth of food stamps to come in every single month. They prep for it every month at their grocery store. That's why when you go into a store around the first of the month, you see fresh grapes. Everything looks so fresh and pretty because they know that it's going to leave those shelves quick. You guys realize, even if it's just the month of November and people don't get their food stamps, do you know how bad that's going to hurt the grocery stores? All those turkeys that's coming from all those farms is going to sit there. Millions of turkeys. They're going to have to get that stuff away. They can't let it just sit there and spoil. All that meat that sits there, guys, they have to mark that meat down and give it to you and sell it to you for discounted prices. Only people with cash is going to be able to afford that food. You guys realize how bad it's going to hurt the meat producers, the butchers, the farmers, the people who produce the vegetables and everything. So this is way bigger than you guys think. A lot of people is thinking, well, Thanksgiving's going to be bad. It could be bad if people don't get their food stamps because they're dependent on it. But just think about how big of a freaking disaster it's going to be on our economy, man. All it's going to take is just 1 month of people not getting their food stamps, and watch what happens in those grocery stores. Those meat prices is going to drop. Those vegetable prices is going to drop. Those fruit prices is going to drop. They're not going to throw that stuff in the trash can, guys. Not when they can at least make something off of it.
So you guys reviewed the shorts, and I'm sure that, you know, the theme continues to reign true, not only in the past, but also now. You know, as a therapist, we look at something called risk factors and protective factors. Risk factors occur where environments are more or less messed up. The children don't have a father. The communities are dilapidated. The women are not properly covered. The resources are not available. And those are called risk factors. But see, this is what happens after so many years of governmental control, governmental spending, but also government more or less betraying the family and emboldening women to tell themselves through the art of delusion that they don't need a man. And see, what's happening now is that the government that once was the husband of so many women, now the government has betrayed them. And because the government has betrayed them, there's going to be a percentage of women that are going to try to reach back and try to get a viable man. But the problem is, because of these spaces that many men are beginning to more or less share their stories and share their heartache and share their pain, a lot of men are beginning to say, you know what, I'm not going to reach back. Now, are there some that will do it? Sure, there are some that will do it. But listen, every man wants to be loved by a woman. He wants that love to be genuine. Nobody wants to be used and abused for the sake of money, housing, or also for security. And this is the biggest scam that's happened to a lot of our women, but also American women in general. It's the fallacious assumption that you don't need a man, the fallacious assumption that you'll be good without a man, and also the fallacious assumption that the government is going to always be your friend. Whether you believe in theology or not, the Bible speaks of a time when there's going to be a one world government under the reign of what some call the Antichrist. Are we beginning to see the manifestations of it now? I don't know. It's possible. But one of the things that can defray or minimize mental distress is having strong families, strong homes, and strong communities. But sadly, so many of our women have been raised to minimize the importance of family. So many of our men have been raised to minimize the importance of their masculinity. And because of all those things combined, a lot of men are beginning to check out. They become indifferent. Many are psychologically lost. And fundamentally, we don't live in a world that espouses a masculine virtue or respects masculinity as a whole. And so what you're seeing now is the government betraying a large segment of women in general, because the government is about business. And this is what happened for so many years under the Democratic plantation, where so many women were told that they didn't need men, or they didn't need communities, they didn't need families, that they were strong and independent. And this is what happens when the American government divorces itself from some of the women that they support. Now listen, I believe, and I'm sure you guys believe, in the importance of food stamps or government subsidies, subsidies for men and women that need it, or those that are disabled, veterans, the elderly, or those that need temporary assistance. But sadly, what's happened now, parenthetically, is that many have begun to rely on the government, and now because of the entitlements of so many modern women and the narcissistic traits that you guys are beginning to see proliferate more so in America, you got a generation of women that feel like that they are entitled to government handouts, and they're not entitled to government handouts. Nobody's entitled to government handouts. And what you're seeing now is that some of these women have become so emboldened that they are beginning to threaten the possibilities of doing some type of negative harm in the name of being able to take care of their kids. But see, years ago when we had strong communities, we had neighbors that could rely on one another. But you can't do that anymore because people have become so selfish. Communities have dissipated to a degree that people don't trust one another. People are people are a lot more cautious of their neighbors now, and the community bands that we had years ago is gone. And so this is what happens after years of liberalism, years of saying I don't need a man, years of saying I've been empowered to be depowered. And one of the things that I talked about in the past, I think I started talking about it back in 2022, or 2021 or 22, and I think I was one of the probably I never heard anybody say it before me, and I got receipts to prove it. But being self-sufficient in my mind is something totally different than being independent. And many modern women have been taught that they were strong and independent. But, you know, saying I'm strong and independent instead of saying that I'm going to be soft and self-sufficient until I can become interdependent is better for relationships. But sadly, that didn't happen. Sadly, some of their mothers did not teach them that I'm going to be soft and self-sufficient until I can become interdependent. And I talked about this years ago. I even had my guest Chantel Simone, her and I, we did a show together. But I talked about it by myself. I think it was the first video I did with O'Shea, where I talked about being empowered to be depowered. And what you guys are seeing now is a classic manifestation of modern women being empowered to be depowered, because that empowerment was based on self-delusion, and that self-delusion was more or less based in self-aggrandizement, which has more or less led them to come to a fatal reality that the government is more concerned about the government and saving money. And so now these women have been living off the government for a span of time, having children out of wedlock, getting with men that are not worthy of their bodies and their wombs, giving their bodies to multiple men, or using the system to get government subsidies, is now beginning to see the recompense of their error. And so I won't be surprised if you begin to see more of this appearing in the future, with communities beginning to dissipate, or communities being hit or more or less targeted because of lack of community. But to those same women that are striving to do, to those same women that are looking for viable men, the ones that have not already checked out, young ladies, do yourself a favor by telling yourself, I'm going to be soft and self-sufficient until I can become interdependent with my husband, something that I said years ago, about 3 years ago. And once a woman learns how to be interdependent with her husband, that's when she can get the outcome that's going to be beneficial to her and her community. Because once again, you don't want to be out here 40, 50, 60, 70, or even in your 30s, being by yourself, trying to do it by yourself. But that's the lie of liberalism, and the lie that you can do it by yourself. And now so many women begin to suffer the recompense of their error. So once again, there are 7 steps to male optimization. There are 7 steps to human evolution. And also one of those 7 steps is understanding the importance of family. And now you begin to see how family has been more or less dissolved due to the government cutting back on spending. So once again, this has been another kosher moment. Guys, you take care. I'll see you again. And if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. And if it ain't kosher, it ain't right. All right, guys, we're going to let's look at this clip real quick. Shout out to Tip Network. They always do good work. And this is going to parrot what I've been talking about. The sisterhood crashes out, continues to vow. Now, this is real true entitlement where people are threatening to steal if they don't get their government food stamps.
So is EBT over November 1st? Is this real?
It's all up to the state as far, right? Isn't that how it goes, they said? That's what they said. Like, a lot of the stuff that they're cutting off on the higher level, they're leaving it up to those specific states.
I just want to make sure they're getting ready to cut off. What are they cutting off? I want to be sure. I don't want to say the wrong
Well, there's
thing.
some things that they're cutting off and some things that they're lowering. They're putting like a major cap on it.
Donald motherfucker Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting their goddamn food stamps to goddamn November? Cause I'm getting my goddamn. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers.
Y'all listen to Porky Pig. Porky Pig said, Porky Pig said she get her food stamps. She gonna get her food, her government entitlement. You know, can stand to lose about 100 pounds. And she gonna get her food stamps. She demanded her food stamps. This is what entitlement does. This is what happens when you reward bad behavior. We're not talking about older people, disabled people, or people that need temporary assistance. We're not talking about those people. Disabled people, elderly people, children, and men or women that need temporary help, they should get their government assistance. I ain't talking about them. Trump is doing this to derail behavior like this. This is narcissism and narcissistic traits that's predicated in entitlement.
But I'm getting my shit. Because I'm going to tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries.
And a PSA to them retail workers during this hard time of what's going on in the world. I really don't advise y'all to try to chase after anybody that's trying to collect them some food for their family as they're walking out that door with that cart, because you might fuck around and don't make it home.
That's up Donald Trump, man. He ain't right, man. He cut the food stamps off. That was wrong, man. When he cut them food stamps off, I didn't see nobody posting no plates that week. It used to be on there. I got that mashed potato with the rice, with the gravy. They was posting God quotes all that week. This too shall pass. I seen one of them just post a plate.
Talking about these people who work the system, which was a lot of women who talk about their life.
For those of you laughing because I'm on welfare, I just want to...
Now look at this entitled white woman. White woman. she look at her and her entitlement, guys. Look at her and her entitlement.
Show you something real quick.
If you're a Christian thinking about starting a business, don't. Starting a business is a terrible idea.
This is my upcoming pin.
$4,194 of SNAP benefits, guys. $4,491 of SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits. $4,149, $194, and she flexing about it.
Pending deposit for SNAP EBT for November. If you are laughing at me right now because you think that I'm going to suffer come November, you better think again.
See, if you are a seamstress, you can sew. If you are a hooker, you can sell your body, even if the government shuts down.
Prostitution is the oldest
profession. There are professions that the government simply cannot shut down. But all of you ladies who were bragging about your position in society, who are on the outside looking in now,
and that's what's beginning to happen, guys. Remember, theology said there would be 7 women to 1 man. This is going to happen in the apocalypse, in the book of Isaiah. But I think a hopocalypse is coming. I think a hopocalypse is coming. Right. Why are you posting online that you're going to commit a crime if you don't get snapped? Yeah, that's entitlement and narcissistic traits, Ron LePayne. Quiet faces, some black women destroyed the desire of black men to be patriarchal. Now men are isolated. Yeah, they're isolated. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Quiet Faith. I agree.
Really need to step up and help the next generation and say, I bet on the system and lost.
It's bad enough I gotta pay rent. It's bad enough I got a car note. It's bad enough we gotta pay insurance. It's bad enough we gotta pay light bill. It's bad enough we gotta pay for gas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's bad enough that she gotta pay light bill, rent, all basic necessities that all human beings gotta pay. You guys don't see this delusion? This is entitlement, and these type of women are not even fit to be married, to be wives, or to be protected and loved by. And don't you men allow anybody to shame you with that community nonsense, talking about, saving the community with entitled women like this.
it's too much. And then on top of that, I'm pregnant.
And ladies and gentlemen, you are now looking into the face of non-accountability. Accountability is kryptonite. Accountability is quicksand. Accountability is the last thing this lady will ever understand. Not only is she worried about the fact that she has to adult. Yes, she has to be an adult, take care of herself, all the things that everybody else has to do. But she has the nerve at the end to drop that golden bombshell. Oh yeah, by the way, she's pregnant.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
Well, ma'am, where is your man in this whole situation? Because, you know, providing is his job. Protecting is his job. Seems like you've made a poor choice. Poor womb management. You over here depending on EBT when you got a whole ass man who should be taking care of you. So that means that you 100% laid down with a bum. And I, for one, don't really feel sorry for you.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human bulldozer, baby? Because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that goddamn store with my monthly groceries that I get every goddamn month, I ain't bothering no goddamn body, okay? Why the y'all bothering me and my goddamn food? I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass.
But you'll do nothing. You'll do nothing. Not one of you will do nothing.
If they cut your food stamps off, you go in the store and steal, and then you get arrested, and now your kids ain't got no food or no parent. How does that solve the problem exactly? Not to mention that now it's gonna be on your record for shoplifting and stealing, and more than likely, if you were on food stamps, you probably not making a lot of money to begin with if you working at all. And the jobs that you work are entry-level jobs that would be concerned about somebody having stealing and shoplifting on a record. So again, you telling us what you're gonna do, why would we care? That's not gonna affect us, that's gonna affect you.
Riddle me this, who do you call a self-snitch? This lady. Doesn't she understand that TikTok is actually now owned by a U.S. conglomerate that has very close ties to the presidency, to this administration? You know, the one who you're blaming. Don't you understand that these petty pentagraphs, petty...
Shout out to my man, Gyro Gamma. He says, seems like Trump has indeed found a way to materialize his project without depending on the popular and congressional vote. Interesting. Thank you, sir, for that $5 super chat. Thank you, Gyro Gami. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, heck, petty on top of petty folks will actually be petty enough that since you're threatening violence, they can be petty enough to take your food stamps. Oh, they gonna learn you, ma'am. They gonna learn you because this is just a temporary setback, but you're over here crashing out. A matter of fact, this is the crash out of the crash outs. This whole video, crashing out. Why? Because you can't get something that you feel is owed to you. Well, it's not really owed to you. This is called a sign of the times because you see, when a hungerness shows and people start acting a fool, the government will look at you and show who's who, and you'll have to do one thing when it comes down to it. That's right, they can give you your wake-up call.
Wake up. Wake-up calls a bitch.
And I know you're thinking to yourself that it can't happen because you think that this is your entitlement, but one thing about entitlements is that they can get cut back, go on down the road, and you're gonna have to figure it out all by yourself. And this is not a celebration, but this is just a warning. Y'all better stop coming on this internet acting out.
Baby, when people be like, girl, how you get food stamps? I wish I get food stamps. You better start lying. Do y'all remember that time I got on here and told y'all about the food stamps?
I lied to get food stamp people, and now they took my food stamps, and I owed them $35,000. but they wonder why government is doing so much slashing and cutting. They wonder why government is crashing down, slacking down. You gotta understand, Republicans believe in decentralization of government. They believe in decentralization of government. I lied to get food stamps. And all this stuff is tied to narcissistic traits. This is tied to narcissistic traits.
Why the f did they turn my food stamps off? And I gotta pay back $35,000. They turned my food stamp off and I gotta pay back $35,000.
They said y'all not finna get no food stamps for November. They said it's over 40-some million people that would be affected by this. And this is all...
And this is generations, guys, of laziness, entitlement, from some of these women that laid on their backs with trifling black men, not hard working blue collar black men or white collar black men that work hard, but with lazy, broken black men, many times the spawns of single parent homes, because they wanted swag over substance. And so entitlement has bred entitlement, and entitlement has bred dysfunction, and dysfunction has bred not only food insecurity, but children not being safe. A lot of these kids gonna suffer because of these women making bad choices.
Due to the government shutdown. They said this includes SNAP, WIC, all that, anything that includes with food, that shit is going down. Now, I don't know if it's true, but they saying that if you got kids under 5, you still would get food stamps. Meanwhile, they saying there's insufficient funds. People finna go crazy. America is finna shut this down.
Meaning families will not be celebrating Thanksgiving this year because there wouldn't be no funds for the people to go buy groceries or have extra money to really come together and have a Thanksgiving, because, you know, in this economy, there's not that much money for people to just dry spend food for one day.
Although I am very sympathetic of people not being able to have everything that they want for Thanksgiving, this is a false claim. You see, you can eat other things besides a big turkey and all the fillings. You can just have a regular meal. Thanksgiving is about to be about your family coming together. Everybody can pitch in and bring a little something. No, what you want is luxury. You want them crab legs, some lobster tails, and all the stuff that you're used to getting on the government's dime. But the government is out of money this time. That government shutdown, if it continues, means that you're just not going to get what you get when you used to get. A matter of fact, they'll look you dead in the eyes if you're sitting there crying and tell you to get. But one thing is really odd in this whole situation is the entitlement. The delusion and the lack of accountability is paramount. But like a famous man once said,
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
If you live in a North Carolina zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years.
greetings, you polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk.
You never knew. That was his power. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yeah, Brandon Clark, they could buy scrimps. They could buy scrimps. They could buy scrimps. They could buy scrimps. They could buy scrimps, steak, and also lobster and crab legs off taxpayers' money.
That's all they got to do. They want their entitlement, their government entitlements. Some taxpayers like you and I and everybody else is listening work hard for it. Entitled people. They're scrimps. They want y'all to pay for their scrimps. They want y'all to pay for their scrimps. Fire Flakes, I took my mom grocery shopping yesterday. Virginia preemptively declared a state of emergency for next week. Principal people may experience hardship, but the foolish are going to jail. Man, shout out to you there, man. Y'all need to be my Tar Heels, man, in Virginia, man. I'm so disgusted. Thank you for that $10 from Super Chat, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen of polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and fake boss ladies alike, especially the ones who was living off that government tea, floss and flashing and profiling when we understood damn well it was an illusion that we seen. As always, we're only here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter, bitter pill, but it's time to shut up and take your medicine. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Well, let's go. Just want to level set the playing field. Why are you depending on the government? Just think about your whole experiences that you've come to this internet proclaiming, oh, you're so upset at Donald Trump. Well, the minute that he got elected, you should have started making moves. When you seen Joe Biden was going downhill, you should have started making moves. I don't even want to be political. I just want to be logical. If you're going to sit here and not like the individual in the White House, think that the individual in the White House might do you bad, do you dirty, do you wrong, then you got to understand that you're not in control of this song.
I'll tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely.
Here's another entitled one, threatening violence. If she don't get her scrimp, her scrimps, her steaks, and her juicy juice for day baby. Here's another one. No food stamps come November 1st. Go get a job. Yeah, she talking trash. She demanding her food stamps and her scrimps. She demanding it.
Cut off for November. Y'all better stay the on my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit.
First of all, you're on the internet talking about you're about to go steal on November 1st because your food stamps is not coming on the car. Don't you know the FBI, the CIA, and the police is looking at all y'all talking about going to steal?
Oh, so you might as well go ahead, go down the road and do what you got to do to make sure you're going to be okay. But now coming to the internet and crashing out over and over again, man, this is like a 2-week crash out. Crashing out on top of crashing out. I said it once and I'll say it 1,000 times. When the government comes to you and says they want to help you, they're just full of lies. Man, this government is just like a prosperity preacher asking you to run them donations.
Run my donation.
And we're going to talk about this tomorrow also, because you guys know I grew up in the church. Some of the behaviors of some of these so-called preachers is not consistent with, in my opinion, biblical orthodoxy. Neither is consistent with the love and the passion of Christ. And one thing I know is about a lot of folks, folks love it when you talk about the black church, but I'll talk about anybody. Whether you're the Nation of Islam, some of these fake Hebrew Israelites, some of these fake pastors and these fake churches, these fake Hebrew Israelites like the Dowell guy, whatever his name is, Pastor Dowell. But they love to denigrate the church. I do believe that the church has the answers to what's going on if people apply it. But sadly, some of these preachers, there are some good preachers to preach the truth. But some of these preachers have caused a lot of people to have confidence. I'm going to do a show tomorrow talking about Marvin Winans. And I like Marvin Winans. I love Marvin Winans. I love his music. But Marvin Winans' behavior was consistent with what I saw in the church in my 20s when I was a superintendent, where they hustle you. And, you got the $100 line, the $50 line. That's not biblical. Is it wrong? I don't know if it's necessarily wrong, but it's definitely not biblical. It's man-made. And when you start talking about $50 line, $100 line, what it does, it causes what's called class stratification. And it causes people to feel insecure and feel less than. And sometimes it causes people to do it to be seen by men instead of doing it from the kindness of their heart. And sometimes the preachers do it to manipulate folks. Some of these preachers, not all, but some of these preachers they're highly entitled and highly arrogant. And there are remnant Christians, there are remnant believers. But Marvin Winans did that in public. And he got dealt with in public. And once again, I love Pastor Winans. I love his music. His music blessed me immensely as a little kid. But I'm not getting nobody $100 line, $1,000 line. You're not going to tell me how to spend my money. I don't care what you say about your interpretation of the scripture. I can read the Bible just like you can read it. Just like you can call yourself exegesis, I can exegesis the gospel too. And I do believe in giving. I don't believe that tithing is biblical for this day and age now. Giving is, you can give 10%, you can give 100%, you can give anything. Tithing was Old Testament. And a lot of folks are giving their hard-earned money. I saw it in my church in my younger years, and they didn't get nothing in return. And I'm going to talk about that on tomorrow. But keep listening, guys.
Over and over and over again. You start believing them. You start getting comfortable. They're starting to tell you a little few things that you like. Hitting you up with that EBT on that monthly basis. And you think you got all your bases covered, but didn't know that this government shutdown can have you in dire straits. So what is it going to be? You gonna get it together, or you just gonna come on this internet and act a damn fool so everyone can see?
If you live anywhere here in the red circled area and you have an old, struggling air conditioning or heating
because of the government shutdown, and hey, people gonna be losing food assistance and food stamps and all that other stuff. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. For people who are disabled and elderly and incapable of working and taking care of themselves, that is a tragedy. That is a horrible thing for to happen to them. But for the rest of y'all, able-bodied, able-minded, lazy-ass people, I'm happy for you.
Oh, yeah.
You think these stores really care that you stealing the stuff? Not really. They got insurance for that. But you will be the one to deal with the consequences that come with stealing the stuff. Y'all wanting us to feel bad for a lot of y'all, we don't, because we out here having to buy food every day with our own money that we work for. So why are you any different than us? Why is it that we have to buy food but you don't? You want us to feel bad for something that we have to do too. A lot of the main ones who are doing all this complaining, you be selling them food stamps. You probably don't even be using most of them. And when you do, you go to the store and buy a bunch of junk food and stuff that your kids probably shouldn't be eating in the first place.
And for the ladies coming out here acting like you have it all.
Yeah, juicy juice and fruit snacks, scrimps, potato chips, Pepsi, Diet Coke, Dr. Pepper, Jungle Juice, that Sunny Delight, Pringles potato chips, Ice Pops, man, what's that Walmart brand called? Nature's Own. I can't think of Walmart brand, but that cheap Walmart brand stuff, great value. That great value stuff from Walmart. Yeah, Walmarts, not Walmart, but Walmarts.
All together, you were doing this and doing that, but when it came down to it, you were absolutely sucking off the government's teeth. Well, guess what? We think that you are just trash. And when you come out here upset because your forever plan is not forever anymore, and you just don't know what to do and you don't know how to figure out your Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving comes around once a year at the exact same time, and you ain't made no plans because your plan was just to live off the government. Well, ma'am, you're just trash. And to the fellas laying up in the house not doing nothing while your lady's collecting them stamps, lazy as hell, feet kicked up, playing your PS5 or whatever you're doing. If you ain't out there trying to help, and guess what, my guy, you are also trash.
And I only pay $50 in rent. Does that make you angry? Does that make you shiver in your boots? Does that make you want to punch me in my face? I pay $50 for a 2-bedroom for my family of 6. With the help of your tax dollars. Thank you very much.
Now, let me tell you this right now. Donald J. Trump, I don't know what the got going on in that of yours, but you better fix it. Just because your ass going through some shit don't mean you gotta take it out on everybody else. Fix this shit right now. Let me not get my food stamps. Let me not get my food stamps. I'm going back to stealing. I don't care. If you leave your car unlocked in the middle of the night, lock it. Because if I don't get no food stamps, believe me, and mine's gonna eat regardless.
2 million people are at risk of not receiving their EBT benefits in the month of November. I don't think that the grocery store staff should be risking their lives for a bag.
I called my local DSS office and I asked them to confirm whether or not what I was hearing was true, knowing it was true, that SNAP benefits are not coming next month. And she said, yeah, no, you're right, they're not coming. I said, okay, well, I hadn't heard anything, confirming what I'm hearing. So I was just calling to check. And she said, you're not going to hear anything. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, your local DSS are trying to figure out what's going on, but the state DSS is not planning on telling anybody what's going on. They're not planning on letting the citizens know that they're not going to get their food stamps next month. She also said that this would likely go on into December, that we will likely not get December's SNAP benefits.
To keep it all the way real with you, I ain't upset about them cutting no food stamps. I'm not getting them anyway. And you wanted the Cheeto in there, now you ain't gonna be able to get your Cheetos. That's on y'all.
Yeah, you don't get your Cheetos and your Cracker Jacks and your Doritos. You ain't gonna be able to go to Walmarts. Not Walmart, but Walmarts with a K on the end. So yeah, I can't worry about them. I'm not worried about them either. I'm just gonna be careful how I move. I'm gonna make sure I keep my heat on me. And a military grade knife. Might even get me a bulletproof vest. You mess with Kosher, and Kosher gonna be like Rambo, the Negro version of Rambo. Mess with Kosher if you want to. Mess around and find out.
I'm happy for the brothers whose value about to go up. Cause they wouldn't settle for no man working 2 jobs. You ain't never home and you do this, you ain't getting no money because she don't need you because she got all these benefits over here. She can go play around and get her little fix on the weekend from one of them boys that's, moving around the city doing the riffing, the raffing. I'm happy for my brothers. Go ahead, young man. Keep working your job and do your thing and stack your money up. And it's going to be a bunch of that was dependent on things that they ain't going to be dependent on no more. So without that saying, I don't need no man. And your little $40 is going to increase in value now.
Cancel the holidays. Winter is
here.
Thank you for watching the Tip Network. Follow us on all social media.
All right, so that was Tip Network. And so this also is tied to insecurity in food. Let's look at this last video by Tip, and then we're gonna end it, guys.
New to Peacock.
I need to go work out.
Hey, last thing. Hey,
and go to the gun range. So let me stop this video. Let me blow this one up. And shout out once again to Tip Network. And guys, if there's profanity, I don't condone it. This is only for entertainment, and education purposes only. I do not condone the language.
Hey, last thing. AI is taking over. Bill Gates said in 5 to 10 years, he feels like it's really. And
that goes back, guys, to what I call it's called the hopocalypse. Remember, Isaiah said that there's going to be 7 women to 1 man. There's a coming hopocalypse. These women that look their nose down on hardworking black men, decent brothers to work hard. The hopocalypse is real. They're going to wish they had a good black man to guide them and love them and protect them and to provide for them. You're going to have women trying to give other men's husbands and wives, husbands. They're going to be looking for well able-bodied black men that got resources, white and black American men. Women that look their nose down on those men because they didn't have that doctorate and that masters and their bachelors. Because the hopocalypse is coming, guys.
80% of the jobs is going to be AI.
All right, guys, so we have some further evidence here that we live in an episode of Black Mirror, and it's hell. Take a look at this from Gizmodo. Leaked Amazon plans say robots will help it avoid hiring 600,000 workers. The e-commerce giant's automation team reportedly plans to automate 75% of the company's operations.
And so what I really wanted to do was do some research and crunch some hard numbers and figure out how many jobs, see if we could figure out how many jobs this year have been reduced or avoided due to artificial intelligence. All right, so bottom line up front is that we found that there's probably about 300,000 to 500,000 missing jobs due in large part to artificial intelligence as of end of July 2025.
If you go online now, a lot of this AI.
Black people going back to slavery. I keep telling them that. This is the warning. Black people, you don't know technology. You still on YouTube. You still typing in the comment section. You ain't creating a new AI cartoon to make Charleston look like a baby and talk how he talk as a grown. Y'all ain't doing none of that. Your kids ain't learning coding. Y'all ain't streaming. You will be Amazon workers forever.
At this point, I think that everybody should be looking to make a career shift. And I said that it was going to be a class war. But this has already been happening for decades. Like, AI is just expediting the process.
It comes amid growing fears of technology replacing human workers. The so-called godfather of artificial intelligence has been...
None of this stuff is safe. My job is not safe. Your job is not safe. Nothing is safe. That's why live well beneath your means, pay your debts off, stack your money, and get in shape in case you have to fight, because things are getting bizarre, more and more bizarre, guys. And I believe that a lot of this stuff is leading up, in my opinion, to a one world order. But you know, that's what I believe. Most churches won't talk about it, but I believe it's leading up to a one world order and a one world government.
Sounding the alarm.
If I worked in a call center, I'd be terrified. If I was someone like a legal assistant, a paralegal, they're not going to be needed for very long. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
Amazon don't have to worry about as much turnover. They don't have to worry about people calling off. They don't have to worry about people getting pregnant in the healthcare. And that's one of the benefits. The downside is now they have to be a little bit more mindful of how it's going to impact the economy, because you won't have as many people generating as much revenue, which means Amazon, and this is for every single company, they work for the shareholders. They don't work for people. People get paid a price based off of what they contribute into the company or whatever it is that they can produce. And that's when you trade your time for money. But Amazon is there to generate revenue for the shareholders. So unless you own Amazon stock, which I believe that everybody should be getting equity into companies by buying into their stocks, then you are going to be left out in the cold.
What is your prediction for the year 2027?
So we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. We're probably looking at AGI as predicted by prediction markets and tops of the labs.
So we'd have artificial general intelligence by 2027. And how would that make the world different to how it is now?
So if you have this concept of a drop-in employee, you have free labor, physical and cognitive, trillions of dollars of it. It makes no sense to hire humans for most jobs. If I can just get, a $20 subscription or a free model to do what an employee does, first, anything on a computer will be automated. And next, I think humanoid robots are maybe 5 years behind. So in 5 years.
Yes, ma'am, Mother Payne. Living above their means. According to Eric Erickson, not Eric Erickson, but Maslow hierarchy of needs, because needs drive behaviors. Food, water, clothing, shelter is a basic need for human beings. But now with inflation and everybody being priced out, they're in a crisis. I got a lot of debt I got to pay off. That's why I work so hard. That's why I work behind the clock, on the clock, because I'm trying to get out of debt. And I'm getting closer to my goals. I'm getting real close.
So the physical labor can also be automated.
Yes, the rabbit hole goes deeper. This AI job apocalypse. Everybody was looking over here, looking over there, worried about the government shutdown, but the government is shutting down. There's nothing that's really going to shut you down. What's going to shut down this job market is that you are going to be replaced. They're going to roll you up, roll your job up, give you a exit interview, and let you know you get 2 weeks notice.
So only job black people gonna be able to get Amazon warehouse job, and it's gonna be like jail. 12-hour shift. 3 on, 4 on, 4 on, 3 out, 10-minute break here, 30-minute lunch here, 10-minute break here, and get back online. And they're gonna have an overseer cracking the whip because black people don't know how to monetize AI nor technology. So homie, we fucked up. And they think I just been talking.
Yeah.
Sound crazy.
What's up, baby? I'm doing good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Definitely a busy time. So look, I want to hop right into it. As you may have heard, we've been restructuring parts of the firm to adopt AI and alleviate some pretty high operational expenses. Unfortunately, that's led us to make some difficult decisions, including the immediate termination of your role. This is not based on your performance as an employee. This is a firm-wide decision impacting hundreds of workers. I know this is probably hard to hear, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Nah, wait. This is definitely a shock. Consider how much effort I put in at this company. Will I be receiving any severance?
Yeah, of course. You'll be receiving 2 weeks severance. I know it's not a lot, but off the record, more as a friend, let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. Anyone that you see I'm connected with on LinkedIn, happy to make an intro. We were literally talking last week about those AI apps like Sprout or whatever, where people are swiping to apply to jobs. Definitely check that out. But look, you're obviously a top performer, and I'm sure you'll find the new role soon, okay?
Holy cow, bro. Holy cow. In layman's terms, this is 600,000 jobs that would have gone to humans, which now is not going to go to humans. Really good stuff, bro. Really.
Yeah, I agree with you, Smooth. It's definitely going to be Armageddon, not Walmart, but Walmarts. So be careful, man. Y'all be careful out here, man. If you ain't got a gun, get you some heat and start going target practice, man. I might need to get my concealed carry permit. Because you're trying to hurt me, I'm gonna put some heat in you. I don't want to kill you, but if you're trying to kill me or hurt my wife or my kids, I'm gonna put some heat in you, man. I'm gonna put some heat in you. I'm not gonna let you take my life due to your entitlement. That ain't gonna happen.
Good stuff. I'm sure there aren't deeper societal and economic issues that this causes, right? I'm sure there's going to be no backlash and no downsides to something like this, right?
AI is going to change your entire world by 2030, not 2050, within the next 5 years.
Yeah, and I believe that. And they said that according to Charles Schwab, you will want nothing. You will want nothing. They're trying to make you more unified. They want to control you. They want to watch you. They want to monitor you. And a lot of people don't believe it, but the Bible is fulfilling itself. We're getting closer and closer to a one-world order, in my opinion. I know folks don't believe it. I know they say it's crazy. The Bible is the most powerful book in the world. There's not a book on this planet more powerful than the Bible. I'm not here to denigrate nobody else's belief or religion, but mine is the false prophets, the fake preachers, the prosperity pimps. The gospel is powerful. And prophecy and eschatology is one of the most things that ring true in the Bible that most preachers don't cover. This world is crazy, and it's getting crazy by the minute. If you got a good husband, if you got a man that honors you, you better start honoring that man. You better start working together, because things are about to heat up. If you don't have no heat, get you some heat, and make sure you protect your family.
It might take your job in the next 2 years. In fact, it might be taking your job right now. Go to a CVS. Go to a Walgreens, go to a grocery store. Your high school education, increasingly that job is gone. Go to a convenience store. Go to a call center, right? Within the next couple of years, you're going to have 100 million plus virtual AI humanoids.
And as a community, we're already feeling the effects of chasing down the wrong dreams, prioritizing the wrong thing, and as always, glamorizing the wrong things, making fun of the folks who chose delayed gratification over instant gratification, and the folks who chose
delayed gratification. I chose a lot of delayed gratification, guys. I drove old cars, old raggedy cars. My oldest car right now is a 99 Buick Riviera, old car. We don't drive new cars. We drive old cars. I just bought a 2006 Yukon Denali, beautiful truck. Had on 109,000 miles on it. I could have went out here and bought a brand new car cash, but for what? Why would I go in debt and live above my means, God, trying to impress somebody? I'm not trying to impress nobody. I don't care about impressing people. I'm just trying to take care of my family. I got me an old school Yukon, and she's nice too. She's real sexy. Y'all see that kosher swag right there? That's right there. That's that kosher swag. That's my Yukon that I got. Paid for. I'm debt free besides student loans. Paid for.
that delayed gratification. They had the foresight to understand what was coming. So instead of getting that liberal arts degree, just perhaps, my dear, you should have went on and got you a STEM.
Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear me? I don't know what happened. Why did it sound go?
Degree, but even some of these technical degrees will get replaced because nobody.
Can y'all, if y'all can hear it, hit one. I don't know what happened. The sound went away. If y'all can hear the sound, if y'all can hear me in the sound, hit one.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brands. Just go to their site, enter your...
In layman's terms, this is 600,000 jobs that would have gone to humans, which now is not going to go to humans. Really good stuff, bro. Really good stuff. I'm sure there aren't deeper societal and economic issues that this causes, right? I'm sure there's going to be no backlash and no downsides to something like this, right?
AI is going to change your entire world by 2030, not 2050, within the next 5 years. And it might take your job in the next 2 years. In fact, it might be taking your job right now. Go to a CVS, go to a Walgreens, go to a grocery store. Your high school education, increasingly that job is gone. Go to a convenience store, go to a call center, right? Within the next couple of years, you're going to have 100 million plus virtual AI humanoids.
And as a community, we're already feeling the effects of chasing down the wrong dreams, prioritizing the wrong thing, and as always, glamorizing the wrong things, making fun of the folks who chose delayed gratification over instant gratification, and the folks who chose that delayed gratification, they had the foresight to understand what was coming. So instead of getting that liberal arts degree, just perhaps, my dear, you should have went on and got you a STEM degree. But even some of these technical degrees will get replaced because nobody can really see the tsunami that's coming. And the ones who were warning you, you didn't want to listen to them because nobody likes the bearer of bad news.
There is a robot in this formation that does not belong. Identify it.
One of us.
Which one?
One of us.
So we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. Not talking about 10% unemployment, which is scary, but 99%.
And I know a lot of ladies of the community are saying, well, they'll just go on to do the OnlyFans. But guess what? The AI SMEX workers are coming strong, and they're going to garner a whole lot of demand because they're going to be willing to do everything that you're not willing to do and some. In this.
Yep, they are robots. They are women. They are making robots. Robots that can do what a woman can do or better. And she doesn't back talk. She only her rent paid. She only get her hair and her nails not done but did. I'm telling you, man, the apocalypse is real. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm going to do a show on the apocalypse, man. But it's real.
Virtual world will hold the reality that you hold now ransom.
How do you feel about her? Her AI is beyond doubt. No, nothing analytical. Just how do you feel? I feel that she's amazing.
That's artificial intelligence. Before you know it, they gonna have a mouth, a woman's head. You just let it sit on your drive and it drank on the whole time. They go. So we welcome artificial intelligence. Yeah, we welcome it. Yeah, we welcome it. Yeah, before you know it, we won't even like humans no more. Everything gonna be artificial. Yeah, mama ain't gonna, men and women ain't gonna like each other. They gonna talk text online.
That's right. We keep talking about race and all this stuff. No, the color's green. I keep telling you, not black or white or red or blue. It's green. And AI is about to deliver this message stronger than I can. I'm co-chair of the AI Ethics Council with Sam Altman, who I think is the Steve Jobs of this generation. Good guy. And I'm wishing him well as he and others from the West, hopefully, control this agenda, we put moral guardrails around AI as it continues to evolve. And I think it's generally a force for good. But if you have a job that's making $100,000 a year and it can be processed, it's gone. Now again, that job's like just going to disappear and you have nothing, but you're going to have to learn pretty quickly how to run the technology that's running the world.
Polite savages.
Take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. And a lot of folks had degrees that they thought were safe, but it's not. AI is coming through, hitting the job like a 7.5 earthquake. A lot of job losses, Bloody Sunday, Bloody Wednesday, and Bloody Thursday. And by the end of this year, over 500,000 jobs will be done. So as always, we're only here to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. And sometimes the truth is a bitter, bitter pill, but it's time to shut up and take your medicine. So there's nothing left to do but get on up into it. Are you ready? Well, let's go. Well, you polite savage, as I cruise these social media streets, I see a lot of angst, a lot of anxiety, a lot of financial pressure coming down on the ladies of the community and the ladies of other communities. Some men, too, complaining that they've lost their job to artificial intelligence. Could it be that this is the Grim Reaper that we've all been fearing? When we were looking one way, they played the Uno reverse card and got us from the other way. Well, not everybody, because a lot of folks have been talking about artificial intelligence for over a decade and how it will replace you. And when I said it in 2018, folks looked me dead in the eyes and said I was a fool. But what they didn't understand is that I was working for a company whose only job was to replace every warehouse worker they had with a robot. And guess what? Amazon's already doing it.
And we talked about, in the manosphere talked about automation. We talked about it. We talked about automation. Like I said, nobody is safe. I'm not safe. That's why I'm living well beneath my means and stacking my money, man, just in case. I'm planning for the worst.
I'm planning for the worst. I want to be in a position if anything happens, I can at least pay my house off and make sure my family is taken care of. And I've been doing delayed gratification for the last 15 years. But the thing that helped me the most is because I understand biblical prophecy. All this stuff is prophetic. I know some of you don't believe it, and I'm not trying to push religion, but we are in the latter part of the last days. We're in the latter part of the last days, in my strong opinion, before the reign of the Antichrist. By 2030, it's going to be radically different. It's already getting different now. Give me 5 more years.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo.
If you have the Robinhood app installed on your cell phone, I'd like to show you the one trade you should be targeting every
Like everyone else.
This morning, concerns that Amazon, the second largest private employer in the country, is planning one of the biggest workplace transformations in modern history. The New York Times, citing leaked documents, reports Amazon expects sales to double by 2033, growth that would normally require 600,000 more workers. But the company is reportedly looking to fill those jobs with robots.
How many people that's losing their job with AI?
I know. That's one thing I was gonna say too. It's like, yo, AI is becoming so big. If you don't get yourself useful, because these company is pretty much gonna find a way to get rid of you.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here's something that you weren't really paying attention to, but I have. Those student loans are super delinquent. A matter of fact, about 6 million of these student loans that are out there are delinquent over 90 days. And who owns the most student loan debt in the nation? The lovely ladies of the community. You know, the most educated, the ones who slapped you in the face with their degree and told you that you weren't worthy. But one thing that we were trying to tell them is that make sure you don't spend all your money on something that's not going to pay you right back immediately. And a lot of ladies are going to listen to this and say that I'm trying to divide, but what I'm trying to do is get it in your head that it's time to cooperate. It's time to put all the BS aside. It's time to swallow your pride. It's time for you to stop thinking that you were better than the man that you were supposed to be with. It is actually time for you to look at these folks who fooled you with this marketing and decide that they are not the people who had your best interest at heart. A matter of fact, they don't give a damn about you, because if they gave a damn about you, they would have looked you straight in the face when you were spending $100,000 on that teaching degree and say, ma'am, you're never going to make this money back. And it's a fact. You dig?
Time to go home, son. I will smite thee in his honor. Looks like somebody doesn't have your back anymore.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which...
Yeah, you know, the woman, Dr. Chiaku, that was mocking black men and saying that black women are the most educated and flexing. You know, a lot of these women are getting these degrees from worthless schools, these, you know, Chicken George State University, and, you know, all this high debt, and mocking, you know, blue-collar black men, hardworking black men without education, and saying that black men weren't equally yoked. But black men were just being smart, because a lot of black men are working class, blue collar men. They're plumbers, electricians. They work in factories, and they don't have any debt. they stacking their money because they don't have debt. I got student loan debt. I ain't tripping, but I'm gonna pay it off. I promise you, I'm gonna pay it off. I'm gonna pay it off. My goal is to be 100% debt free in the next 2 years, and I'm gonna do it. I'm so close, and I'm gonna go hard in the paint to pay it off. But they mock black men that work work hard jobs or work in blue collar jobs.
Which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. Problem number two is you spend all that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people.
So yeah, I made a video about me owing student loans, right? I owe about $150,000 in student loans. I got 2 degrees. I got a bachelor's in biology and I got a master's in secondary education with an endorsement in clinical mental health counseling, right? So y'all mean to tell me y'all gonna garnish my check?
And I want the lovely ladies of the community to just ponder one thing. If you only want the top 20% of men, then that means that the top 20% of men have all of you to choose from. That means you're either going to share him or you're going to have to deal with being that dreaded word, side chick, or even a more dreaded word, accountability, because you're going to have to take accountability for yourself and realize that if you get with a guy and you have a whole bunch of debt and you need help, I suggest that you lean back and get hip to the fact that you're not the one settling. He's the one settling for you. Uno reverse card, because it's the total of the sum. And it ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun. You dig?
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television.
The best thing to happen for black people is for them to create all AI jobs and black people lose their jobs. That's the best thing that's gonna happen for us. That's when we're gonna evolve. That's when we're gonna evolve. Them low-level working McDonald motherfuckers. Them lazy ass, sorry bitches at Walmart with them attitude. That mother AI ain't gonna never have no attitude.
Bitch gonna replace them.
Huh? Say up. Grandmama them did. Say up. AI can't replace that. Been one of the best professions in the world. Sell your put that Walmart job. You'll be far way better selling than you would work for Walmart. Just learn how to sell it.
Okay. Okay.
And listen, this is a new term. This is called the hopocalypse. That's what it's called, the hopocalypse. Where they're gonna be crashing out, selling their bodies for provision and protection. You ain't never heard this word on YouTube. You heard it from me first. It's called the coming hopocalypse. Actually, I'm gonna do a show on it called the coming hopocalypse. I came up with the word hoflation. Everybody's using it now. Hoflation, and the last one is hopocalypse. The coming hopocalypse, where women are going to be selling themselves for provision and protection. Consistent with what the word of God said, there'll be 7 women in the book of Isaiah to 1 man. Because they don't want the hard-working blue-collar guys. They want the top 20%. And like my man said, you're going to either be a side chick or you're going to be by yourself. Because the top 20 are going to have plenty of options.
All right.
Thank you for watching the Tip Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom. We're out.
All right, guys, that's it.
We found true happiness.
Shout out the Tip Network, guys. So once again, guys, before we end the stream, these degrees ain't gonna matter nothing the next couple of years. Like I said before, I believe we are in the latter part of the last days. All this stuff is leading up to a one world order, a one world government. Some theologians call it one world under the Antichrist. And I believe we're getting closer and closer to it. I think 2030 is going to be the marking point where you're going to really see things pick up. Nobody's immune. I'm not immune. Nobody's immune. And so make sure your soul is right. Make sure you get with good black folks, good black women, and those that got some sense. You try to preserve what's left of the black community. And if you got a husband, you better stay with him. You better love him because things are getting crazy, man. Shout out to my man, The Wall Report, showing love, man. The Wall Report always showing love, man. I got to meet The Wall Report one day, man. I don't even know who The Wall Report is, but that brother always show me love and show me support. Shout out to The Wall Report for that $35 cash out. The Wall Report is the #1 sponsor of the stream. All right, people, like I'm gonna bring you on for a few minutes, man, but I'm about to leave, man. I'm about to cut. Hold tight. I'm about to go lift me some weights and go to the shooting range, man. But I'm gonna bring my man Peaceful Life up for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna end this stream. Peaceful Life, I sent it to you. I sent it to you, brother. Shout out to The Wall Report, as he's the #1 sponsor. The #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to The Wall Report for being, once again, the #1 sponsor. Guys, I got one guest want to come through and show some love real quick. And then we're going to end this stream. Shout out to Peaceful Life. But Wall Report, thank you, man. You and my man, Mr. Johnson, y'all always show me love, man. I really appreciate it. But I'm going to do a show at some point called The Coming Hopocalypse. Called The Coming Hopocalypse. So shout out to The Wall Report as he is the #1 sponsor of the stream. Shout out to The Wall Report and Ray Johnson, It's like the Wall Report. All right, guys. So we got my man Peaceful Life. He about to tap in for a few minutes, and then we're gonna end this because I got to go lift me some weights. Got to get my testosterone up. Hold on for a minute. Hold on, I got my man Peaceful
on my
Life.
channel.
What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
Hey, salute to you, my brother. How you making out, man? Peace and blessing.
Government shutdown, food stamps and rent fund to stop. You talked about relationship capitalism. You and I talked about it you talked about it. You came up with the term. I didn't hear nobody call it relationship capitalism until you said it. And then I paired it and talked about something called hopeflation. Hopeflation is where subpar women think they're better than average men. They outprice and outmarket themselves trying to sell degrees instead of true feminine virtue. And then there's a new term that I created, and I'm going to do a show on it, and I'm sure folks going to steal it and not give me credit, called the coming hopocalypse. And you're seeing it now, man. The hopocalypse is real. It's alive and well, and it's going to get worse. What do you think about, man, about the show that I did, the coming hopocalypse, and relationship capitalism, everything we talked about in the past, bro?
Well, I think it's fire now, and I think what happens now is, the devil is coming home to roast or whatever, because what happens inevitably is that too much of a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women put too much of their future independency in government as opposed to family. They expected these politicians to bail them out, to save them, to replace the men in their lives. And they realize that anytime you depend on government for your sustenance or your survival, it's always going to end badly, because you're going to develop some serious codependency. Now you can't do nothing for yourself, your future, your everything is dependent on whether or not the government gives you a certain level of sustenance or handouts every single month. And that's a sad and disturbing way to live. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah, it is, man. And, we talked about it, one of the gifts that men have peace of life is something called foresight. Foresight is part of a man's ability to give provision. See, a lot of women think provision is just money, but it's more than money. It's money. It's the ability to see things in the far future. That's called spatial reasoning. It's physical protection. It's wisdom and guidance. And I saw this thing coming. You're in good shape. You're a former police officer. I'm in decent shape. I mean, I still got a lot of debt to pay off, but I don't have no car payments.
Right.
I just bought a 2006 Yukon Denali, beautiful truck. You've seen it. It's a beautiful truck. I got it fixed up.
Oh, absolutely.
It's even more sexier than my older truck. And I was telling some of the women that are listening that the new appliances now, it's a term called planned obsolescence. They don't make these appliances to last. They make them last for about 5 to 7 years and they break down. But back in the day, everything was made bigger, better, and stronger. It was made of steel. And so I got speed queen washers and dryers. But you've seen all of this. Theology says peaceful life, there are going to be 7 women to 1 man. A time's going to come when things going to get so bad, that's called the hopocalypse, where it's going to be 7 women to 1 man. What do you think things going to look like, man, by 2030? Because Charles Schwab said you don't want for nothing. And this is all by design. It's planned, and it's planned to make folks more reliant on the government. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, that the issue that with AI, and you're talking about quantum computing as well, added with AI, is going to put a tremendous strain financially on especially the women or those who don't have a certain skill set that you just can't replace. I mean, you're not going to get anybody to replace a plumber. Right. Cars are always going to need to be fixed. Mechanical things will need to be repaired with hands-on. I don't think AI is going to be able to replace that or replenish that. So those skilled laborers and those skilled technicians, they're going to have jobs for a long period of time. It's those secretarial functions and those administrative functions, which a lot of women do. A lot of jobs that are inconsequential are really unnecessary in terms of can be easily replaced with technology. What I see, to be honest with you, is what we see now. We talk about the monetized dating and relationship market that currently exists right now. I think when you mentioned, 7 women to 1 man, we're dealing with generations of women who weren't raised to be wives or weren't raised to be under the leadership of men. And that rebellion will continue on. I think they're going to put more pressure on their family. Some of them are going to have to lose these houses and go back home and try and live with mommy and daddy.
Right.
And because they have no skill set in how to get along with a man.
Right.
In fact, they think that cooking, like I would teach my boys to cook, because the average young lady has not been taught how to cook or be any type of domestic skills and whatever else. And they're not going to want to be told what to do by a man or follow his leadership. So they're going to go back home and put pressure on their family. I think you're going to see that for a long period of time, because this stuff is not going to correct overnight. They just don't have the skills or even the mindset and the mentality to be anything other than feminist, to be honest with you.
Shout out to my dear friend Bashur for that $20 super chat. She said, I won't be able to hear tomorrow because I'll be at my niece's cotillion here. My support in advance. Thank you, dear, for showing love and support. And also shout out to brother The Wall Report and Ray Johnson. The Wall Report for $35, followed by Ray Johnson, also followed by Quiet Faith. What are you seeing, man, in your native state about folks getting anxious, man? And you being a former police, what are some proactive steps that people can take in case this thing gets out of hand?
I would say, especially around the first, that this money don't drop. Go shopping early in the morning, like 5 o'clock. Them ninjas ain't getting up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Or that, they ain't coming out the trailer parks at 5, 6. They usually under the influence of substances or laziness. One of the two gets you. I like to go to Walmart at 7 in the morning. Because you're dealing with people that have an entitled mentality. So they already feel entitled to other people's money. So they're feeling entitled to stuff in the stores, and they're like, these corporations and us versus the corporation. So that I wouldn't be surprised as many people feel entitled to your own stuff. And you know what I'm saying? But I think now what's happening, I think because they feel that way, some of these individuals have been dependent on the system so much, and their mindset is that you owe me this. The survival mechanism naturally for a lot of these individuals is to go to, I hate to say it, prostitution.
Oh yeah. They definitely go to prostitution.
Sales of the world's oldest profession. Because, what the problem is there enough revenue that can be raised from that, especially in an environment that, some of these individuals that I've seen that's on the system, they're really taking care of themselves real well. And, old Rufus that come down there and pound out that 350-pound woman, Rufus ain't working with much money either, because he's trying to file for disability and get that disability payment every month. So where you going to market this meat? You know what I mean? That's the question. For some of them, the other young ones that look good might be able to sell something, but some of the ones I've been seeing on social media complaining about SNAP, man, I don't know what kind of market they're going to be selling that in.
Yeah, man, you're right. I mean, I think the men the men that saved their money and stacked up, if they want to do that, they can do it. But I'm not out here endorsing fornication. But let me ask you a question, man. Have you ever seen the world this bad before, bro? You're not Gen X. Your birthday just came. You just turned 51, right?
Yeah.
I'm 54. I ain't never seen the world this bad, man. But I did see it coming.
Well, it's played out live for us, though. We're seeing everything through the lenses of social media now, because there's a lot of things that's been going on. But now I think there's more exposure now, because we see how embedded that government that systematic stuff with government is embedded in people's lives, where they literally, especially for a lot of women, they've literally looked at the government as the backbone for their existence, their sustenance. That's disturbing within itself. Not family, not, not like saying, okay, we got the land, we got grandma's land, we got a farm, we got animals, we got some money saved up. They're looking at government. And you're seeing the type of food those women were purchasing on that SNAP program, that food stamp program. It's completely diabolical, the amount of trash they're eating. Right. You're talking about To be honest with you, let me tell you the truth. I think we need like a whole year-long fast. We got some women in there. If you just make sure they get enough water, some electrolytes, and whatever. I'm not talking about the old, the seniors, and the disabled people.
Right.
Some of them big backs, they can go a whole year without calories. Now you give them some good apple cider vinegar and some water, and they kill that hunger burn. And about 3 days without no food, they'll be all right. They got a whole lot of fat to burn. I've seen one on their chest, like, man, she can go about 2 years without food. Yo, man, you see these big backs, man, they don't need all that snap.
They got big backs, man. They got a lot of big backs, man. A lot of them got big backs.
But I've counted, if you just do a calculation, you count the amount of calories on some of these backs, man, we ain't worried. What are you worried about? I'm worried about the old folk more than anything else, and maybe this, but these big backs, man, they can use some intermittent fasting, I think start off with a good 30-day fast. Just make sure they got enough electrolytes and some good old pink sea salt so they don't get dehydrated, and some good clean water. Flush all that fat out of them.
I'm gonna be trying to reach back to you, man, because you retired with the military.
Man, you can't find me. I be then dug 30 feet down on the ground. I hide from these. Let me tell you something, man. If you're a single man right now,
you 6'8",
turn up missing, man. I'm telling you. Go get you one of those rings. If you're a single man right now, go get you one of those rings off Amazon. Put it on the finger like this. Right. And you tell them women out here you married. You're a married man. You don't need none of you. Look, I'm married. I got a wife and kids. Don't come over here.
They don't care about that. That makes you even more.
Well, you gotta have something though. You gotta put some wall up because man, you tell you right now, you daughter that think you dating someone. She'll throw that box at you, and next thing you know, she's talking. They ain't gonna. Some of them will have so much pride they ain't gonna come right out of beg. What they'll do is give you circumstances and situation. They'll tell you a story about their life. Be like, this month's been rough. My expenses and my bills have been real high, and things are hard on me right now. See, right now she's trying to trigger that masculine urge to protect. She ain't gonna tell you she needs some money. She's gonna have you saying, you know what, baby? I've been getting all that sweet meat. I tell you what, I'm gonna give you $1,200 this month to help you with your. That's when you fuck up. That's when you effed up. Because that's when the portal of begging starts. Because what happens now is next month, she's going to create another circumstance and situation. She's going to talk about how bad her car is running. Man, I'm misfiring and my engine light is on. Plumbing problems at our house. You hitting that stuff. Next thing you think, like CGA be saying, ain't none of this is free. Next thing you know, that's what they do. They create a conversation. That's a struggle conversation. Hoping for some simp that's silly enough to, come in here and play superhero and start, sending them cash apps and shit. Right. And that's what happens. And I tell you, the sob stories are going to be deep. And,
Well, I mean, when you got a good heart, man, so I know you're going to let me
Hell no.
I know you got a good heart, man. I know you're going to reach back. They're going to reach back, man. What I'm saying, look, man, just look out.
I'll play that violin with their ass. Because I know it's all a scam. They're probably working about 3, 4, 5 dudes at the same time with that same old sad story, man. And
but you planned ahead, man. You don't have a lot of debt. A lot of men don't get in debt. Right. Men are careful how they spend their money, man. And those men that women laughed at, they were plumbers, electricians, factory workers, blue collar men. Now those men appear to be very attractive. Do you see women trying to reach back to those type of men in the future?
Man, they already have. They're reaching back to them right now, and they're looking for them. I'm telling you, Rufus is gonna start looking good walking down the street. He walked down the street with a little pot belly. They weren't paying him any mind. They even the one that got a little Social Security and little pension from the job. Man, them dudes start to look good right now. Because that Section 8, that Section 8 really, it facilitates a lot of derelict activity. First of all, you got lazy dudes laying up in that house. They're not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be up in the houses with these women. But when those houses that could be rented for $2,000, $3,000, now women only paying $8 a month, and we're footing the rest of the bill. And I think there's a mandatory work requirement that's coming up next month for 80 hours a month. So 80 hours a month for me or you is nothing. But for a lazy government dependent person, 80 hours a week is death sentence. You're going to have a lot of struggle issues going on, you know.
You know, when everything's shutting down, man, you know, folks go to school now, they ain't guaranteed to find a job, man. What is your fear for your boys, man, and the future of America, man? Because by 2030, they say you will want for nothing, and they will own everything. That's what Charles Schwab said. What is your fear for your sons, man, and the generation to come? I think you froze. You froze, brother. Can you hear me? Hello. I think he froze. I think he froze, guys. But he'll pop back in a minute, guys. But to you guys that are listening, men and women, are you guys afraid of all these changes that are happening? We're going to end the stream in a minute. But are you guys afraid of all these things that are happening? Are you dealing with anxiety? Did some of you guys see it coming? Have some of you prepared for it? And do you think it's going to cause a lot of chaos if things don't tighten down in the month of November? What do you guys think about it? Because a lot of folks are afraid. A lot of folks are in distress. And a lot of folks think things are going to get a lot worse. Delano Music said, I'm not afraid. He said that he's not afraid. Shout out to Quiet Faith for the 10. He said, now's the time. He said, no fear, brother of God. No doubt, respect, brother. He said, now's the time for alienated fathers to hit the court to be the custodial parent. I like that. And use any request for additional assistance to petition, especially homelessness. Get your children. I like that, Quiet Faith. I think that's a powerful point, man. I think that's a very powerful point. I think that's a very powerful point. Delano Music said he's not afraid. I'm not afraid. What's going to happen is going to happen, man. You know, I'm not even afraid even unto death if I have to. I just want to make sure my soul is right. But it's crazy, man. I ain't never seen the world this bad before, man. A lot of these chicks are crashing out. A lot of them are going to try to reach back. But this is what arrogance does. This is what entitlement does. This is what happens when you got a generation of women that think they're better than their men. And the man that should have been their husband, should have been the person that should have been their husband wasn't the government, but it should have been hardworking white collar and blue collar black men that some of them rejected. But now they're single, destitute, stressed out, and many of them gonna be left by themselves. Peace of life. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes, but I'm gonna sign off in a minute, bro. You say you're gonna go and come back in because I'm about to get off. I gotta go work out, man. Let me text him real quick. So let me ask you guys a question to those that are listening. Did you guys see AI coming? Did you see AI coming? Did you see AI beginning to impact America? Let's see, who's this Quiet Faith? So why be afraid? I just see an opportunity. Towards us for kids said, well, wait, Revelation Spirit of Indifference said, salute KCGs. I'm late for this one. He said, I would like to put my 2 cents in before you sign off. But tell me in the text, man, here go Peaceful Life, because I'm about to get off, man. I'm about to get off, man. This streaming mess is crazy.
You know, sometimes this internet be acting up sometimes.
Man, come on, man. You got the struggle internet, man. Go ahead, Delano Music. Go ahead and tell me your 2 cents, brother. Put it in the text, man. I'm about to sign off in a minute, man. But government shutdown, chaos, food stamps. Man, you got these big backs. Hold tight, man. Raising hell. These big backs.
Last one, grab it! Sir, please! push. Don't push. Attention shoppers. Additional turkey. Last one, grab it. Sir, please. Don't push. Don't push. Attention shoppers. Additional turkeys are being brought to the front of aisle 12. Please remember.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't.
Shout out to Revelated Spirit of Indifference for $10 super cash out. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of.
She said, piece of life, it's your job to pay for all her children.
Yep.
Not children, but for all her children. She says it's your responsibility. In about 10 more minutes, I'm about to shut this thing down. But it's your responsibility to pay for all her children. She says the taxpayer's responsibility. What's your take on that, man? This rampant entitlement.
Hey, first of all, salute to the War Report for the $15 cash app. Appreciate the support,
Right.
man. But
Right.
that's their mentality. And that's the mentality. Just like they think it's every man's responsibility to defend them and protect them. And you owe them your servitude as men. Not that, and guess what? They don't feel like owe you anything. Respect, honor, anything. They feel like the government, the system, owes them support, owes them protection.
Right.
Even if they're not even paying into the system. You know, like but that's conditioned into them. You know,
Right.
they were raised that way by generations before them. That's why that generational welfare thing. And it's, they use, we see a black lady, there's white people that are like that too.
Mm-hmm.
It is this mindset and mentality that somebody owes them something. It's an entitlement that's been indoctrinated into them. And it's hard to break that mentality and that mindset from those types of individuals who think that way. They really feel that. And again, what do you do? The only way to get them off of that is strategic discomforts.
Mm-hmm.
And again, some of them, I feel, in terms of the kids and everything else like that, the problem is when you have kids involved, it touches your heart. But some of their parents can use a long fasting period, like I said.
You said a long fasting period.
Absolutely.
Bashir said, regardless of what happens, my husband and I will be fine. We are in whatever obstacles together, no doubt. Good for you, sis. Delano Muse, I don't care if it sounds ruthless. Survival of the fittest, where most will give up and be lazy. You and I must take an easy opportunity to prosper, no doubt. This is a know your value moment for good men and women. Yep, I totally agree.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree with the whole type, man. We're gonna end this in a minute because I gotta go work out, man. Go to the gun range. I want to be lock and loaded like Peaceful Life.
I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok, and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching a fucking video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Well, it appears that things are beginning to get more and more ominous.
I'm just so tired.
Hold on. This cut food stamps and modern women are beginning to crash out. But before we get deep into the video, hit the like button and share the stream. All over the news, we're beginning to see a lot of women crashing out because of what Trump is beginning to do with food stamps and also housing more particularly.
Donald motherfucker Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting damn November? Cause I'm getting my rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet.
Look at this right now. This Crimson Tide, man. Roll tide, roll.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that
I had to
groceries,
all this
then I get every goddamn body. Okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering? I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass.
This is what we're talking about, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly what we're talking about, man. Incessant narcissistic behavior. She said, y'all better give me my food stamps.
Yep.
This woman is 250 pounds. Like you said, she got a hardworking job, went to work. She can lose that weight, and she will have some character and dignity. But they want to live off your hard-earned money, my hard-earned money, and everybody that work hard. Not disabled people, not the elderly, not handicapped people.
Right.
But, able-bodied folks, man, want to live off taxpayer money, man.
Right. And they claim hardship with a $1,600 iPhone in your hand most of the time.
Right.
But again,
or wearing designer clothes.
Right. They're all double dipping in the system. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're going to make an argument that, okay, well, what about the corporations? The corporations hire people and give people jobs. And at the end of the day, we got to understand, like, this is long overdue, because a lot of what their confidence and self-esteem and their ridiculous behavior is really comes behind a lot of this government support as an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they have the insurance policy, they feel they have the power to show their ass and not even comply and do the things that they're supposed to do. And they can continue to produce certain elements of society that destroy communities and make people feel unsafe in certain environment, because when you got that Section 8 to fall back on, when you got all that government help and government support, what incentive you have for somebody who thinks that way to pick a good man or to stop having babies or to, and again, this is the white community too. There's a whole bunch of people that in certain environments, there's no real incentive really to go beyond what that government handouts. People can get comfortable in their mediocrity and they don't want to strive for anything better because that's what they're accustomed to doing, And
I don't say it can any better, man, because you're talking about generations of dysfunction, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about generations of dysfunction, generations of entitlement, and generations of victim blaming. And, I think this government shutdown is sad for those that really need it, but for those that are bleeding the system, I think it was necessary. What's your take?
I think it's like a keto diet, a healthy keto diet. Get them some fresh vegetables, some cabbage, some lettuce, some carrots, some broccoli, and some spinach, and get some nice salmon and some nice chicken, some avocados. Get them off that government tit, and get them off that sugar. Get them off that high fructose corn syrup and that processed food. That's what they need to get off of that stuff.
Yeah,
when you're talking about one that's 250, and not only that, whoever the dudes are that's going over there and pounding out these 255-pound broads, that dude would be taken out back and given a good shellacking. I mean, I don't know who's running up in these women. I mean, I've seen some of these big backs. I don't know what's wrong with these dudes, man. I understand wherever you tied or the cows where the cow's going to eat, but man, they always got babies with them. So who's delivering the seed? Mm-hmm. Those dudes need to be held accountable too. I mean, like, what the hell is going on with these dudes, man? We always talk about how some black men or some women, some white men too, have some lower standards on the planet. But man, they're making these babies with these women. I mean, it can't be a good sanitary environment for them to be mating in. You know what I mean? You mating over there, corn chips is falling off the bed. Oreo cookie dust getting up your ass, and cracking your ass in that bed. She would eat the Oreo cookies in the bed. What kind of mating environment is this shit, man? And I'm wondering who's, these dudes, man. Because I see a lot of these dudes be on the block, all day long, not doing anything. But man, oh man.
Yeah, but yeah. Only I can say, man, be ready, man. Once again, being former law enforcement, How can people protect themselves? We're gonna end this, man, because I gotta go start looking some waste, bro.
Well, you just got to avoid the stores like that. I mean, they're going to crash out in the stores because the first place they're going to go is try and steal stuff from stores because they're already doing it now. That's why, you go to some Walmarts in certain areas, look like some dystopian apocalyptic environment. They got everything locked up. The soap locked up. You can't get laundry detergent. You got a cold. You got to hit the button and shit. You're like, yo, I just want to get some laundry detergent so I go do my laundry. You got a call for that deodorant. What else they got locked up? They got all that stuff locked up. So I usually I don't even go to a certain Walmart in a certain area. I go all the way across the other side to in the nicer area to go to Walmart because I sometimes even go to Target, so I don't have to deal with that stuff. But my thing is this: you go to Walmart at 7 o'clock in the morning. Your probability of running into a certain element of society is reduced by 99%.
Well, they don't even call it Walmart, man. They call it Walmarts. Walmarts.
Marks, right? I do shopping I be up about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when I go in the store, man. Man, I just walk through the line. Don't be no riffraff up in that Walmart. Because remember, we on regular people time. They're not, they get up at 12 noon and shit. They're not getting up at no morning like at 7, unless they forced to get up they need some baby formula or some shit, and the baby don't have nothing else to eat. Even then, that baby might be starved for another 2 hours. They're not getting up at 7 a.m. So stick with the early hours. You know what I mean? And then you can enjoy your shopping in peace. Because
it's like, man, we're in an alternative ulterior universe, man.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen the world this dark, man. Like I tell people, man, I believe it's all about design. I think we are in the last days, man. And I don't say that to be jokingly, man. The world is different, man.
Well,
and I won't be surprised if Jesus cracked them skies, man, in the next 5 to 10 years, man. Because the world is wicked. It's getting more and more wicked by the minute. You and I can hope for better. You and I Gen X, but it hasn't gotten better, man, in our lifetime. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I see, be honest with you, I see massive improvements in the Black community if this continues for another, let's say Trump gets out, in 2028?
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. Another Republican's coming, because if they're going to run AOC and Kamala or whatever the hell, they're going to guarantee the L. You might as well just go ahead and put that L in the L column. So another 4 years of Republican. That's 8 years of Republican. Through strategic discomforts and getting rid of that government, I see the Black community improving at least, I'd say 60, 70% better in those time periods, because it's going to be force people to value and respect community, and especially the way how they're locking down these cities. And you just can't, these YNs can't be out there crashing out, tearing up the place like they used to. I mean, look at Memphis. You can't find these dudes. Only problem I have is when they pull over hardworking people and shake them down. That's disturbing. But in terms of the way they're attacking this environment, they got to do it in a way too where they're knocking down these bandos. They're forcing these kids. Look, you can either go down to the detention center, jail, or you can go into this training program. And even if you have to put the training program directly into the detention center, where they're forced to learn valuable skills and get the proper mentorship and therapy, this is a very good opportunity for the Black community in America. The white community, has a class system already established. So when you see the trailer parks and whatever else, it's not the same circumstances in the Black community where there was a strategic effort put forth through, obviously we know Lyndon B. Johnson he was devout racist. There was an effort put forth to marginalize the Black male, lower him down, raise this woman up above him, make the women more government dependent. So in order to correct that, the sad part about it is that the church might have to step up its effort in feeding people and taking care of people. But strategic discomforts is the only way to fix the situation. It has to be uncomfortable, where people got to realize that the government is not your solution. Family is, relationships are, maybe marriages, and you have to make, when the government doesn't subsidize poor mating decisions and breeding decisions, people will start to change their mindsets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't.
Only pain can correct it.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. It just, but like I say, it just baffling, man, to see the level of entitlement, the level of disrespect for order, and a lot of these women, because they had husbands, man. I'm gonna play this last clip, and then I'm gonna end the stream, man. And thank you for tapping in for a few minutes. I know you're busy.
Oh, no problem, brother. No, anytime.
Hold tight. Hold tight. Let me see if I can a little bit. Listen, we're gonna get off because I gotta go work out, man.
Shaped like a motherfucking penguin any motherfucking way, albino motherfucking walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's them goddamn SNAP benefits off, I can tell you that.
Hey, so I work for the welfare office in my local county. I'm in Pennsylvania, and we received an email today, this afternoon, that SNAP benefits, food stamp benefits, if the federal government is still shut down, will not be released in November, and that any applications after the 15th, which were 2 days ago, will not be issued. So it is true. I know we're seeing a lot of different stuff online, articles, but it is true. I've been officially notified as an employee with the state at the welfare office. So if the federal government does not come up and running as of November, food stamps will not be issued.
So this is for y'all that don't know how much baby milk actually costs and why we need the WIC program, which is set to be, the funding is set to be.
Saying that every state.
All right, so real quick, man, before I let you go, man, you know, the whole apocalypse is real. You know, these women, you know, can't afford formula, they can't afford basic necessities, they in a bunch of debt. You know, like these chicks, you know, flexing on black men, saying they got their doctorates, and you know, black men are not worthy. They're not equally yoked because you know they got that doctorate. Some of them got worthless degrees and got all this student loan debt. And I got student loan debt, but I'm gonna pay mine off. But they flexing on working class black men, to the blue collar, you know, and hardworking men. What do you think is gonna happen to those women? Because if every man and woman married, there are still 2 million more black men than black women. And like somebody said, they're gonna be sharing the top tier black men, man. It's gonna be a smorgasbord for the top tier black men if they're in that lifestyle.
I think more of those they have too much pride because they're going to be on antidepressants and living with cats. Because even with those ones, you know, you're going to get some of the lower, more tier women that are going to be willing to share men. But those ones they got with their head up their ass and they think that their degree, see, they conflate social status with sexual market value and what the value is of what men want. See, the question is this: nobody ever asked the fundamental question in life, if we live in a gynocracy, what do men want?
Yep,
what are men attracted to?
Yep.
How to get a man, how to keep a man, how to live in a house peacefully with a man and coexist and have a successful household. So in their minds, and obviously systematically it was done that way, they've been indoctrinated to believe that they're better than the men.
They're better, right? Because
they have these worthless degrees. Many of them riddled with debt, like you said.
Right.
And many of them are just extremely disagreeable.
Yep.
Unpleasant to be around.
Worthless degrees, man, from, you know, Chicken George State, you know, these schools that went out of business, like Argosy and Capital.
Right, you know. But they're insufferable though. Remember, I've seen Dr. L with that feminist he was arguing. He was trying to calm her down and talk sense to her. Right. But the level of insufferableness, like literally, I started pulling out my Motrin because I knew right away, like I knew where this was going. Because when you get them like this,
you pull out your Motrin, man.
Oh yeah, I'm like, you know, I go over there and support my brother Dr. L sometimes, but you know they're insufferable, they're arrogant, they're cocky, they're just undesirable women. I mean, I ain't never had sex with a degree in my life. I mean, what are you gonna do? Get a paper cut? What the hell is? What did they think this value that they bring to the table? Most of them too, especially some of these older ones, they want men to come in a traditional sense and pay their bills and pay and sponsor their life. So they're waiting around with these worthless degrees for somebody who makes more money than them, that's going to sign over their life to them, and they ran through old, burnt out ass, and they're like they've expired because a lot of them pledge fraternity when they go to college.
Yep.
And they get vigorously smashed, pounded out.
Sororities.
Right. They go sororities. They go get these degrees, but by the time they get these degrees, they got like 40 bodies on them. And they're all educated. They got trauma from that basketball guy who dumped them.
Right.
And now they're a Dr. So-and-so. But right. Dr. So-and-so.
They got that doctorate. They got that doctorate, but they got a lot of trauma with that.
But they perform fellatio in the bathroom for the basketball team. And now she's a doctor. But you can see the look in their eyes. You can see 1,000-yard stare in their eyes, that military battle. 1,000-yard stare. I look in their eyes like, oh, you've been pounded. That's why you hate black men now. The dude from the football team told her that you're gonna be my queen when I graduate. He just curbed her ass, and then she went and finished. She got her doctorate.
Yeah.
Now she hates black men.
Now they hate black men, right?
Making up false statistics and shit.
Yep. They equivocate all black men
as
being unmarriageable. And you'll never convince me, Peaceful Life, that some of these women didn't have a chance to get a husband in their 20s when they were in college. You'll never convince me. They had opportunities to get husbands. They just went after the higher tier black men. And those higher tier black men used them and abused them and threw them in the trash can. And now all the guys that they curved with the average working black men, now they're bad. Black men don't want to get married. Black men are not marriage material. Black men don't marry black women. But they always sell degrees. But like I've said before in the past when I talk about social market value and sexual market value, what are those black men getting? Because black men don't care about degrees, but they do care if you've been ran through.
Right.
They do care if you got kids by multiple men. They do care if you had multiple deletions. They do care if you got mental trauma. But then all of a sudden you think you're better because you got your doctorate.
Right.
Your doctorate and your master's and your bachelor's. Men don't care about that goofy stuff. Doctorates don't make a man's penis get hard.
Nope.
Masters don't make a man's phallus get hard. What men love are women that have emotional regulation, haven't been ran through. They're cooperative. They're feminine, and they understand their assignment, and they have a high respect for God, man.
Absolutely.
But you can't tell these chicks nothing, man.
Well, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't tell them anything, and you can't tell even guys like Omar, the Crazy Johnson. He was shaming these, like calling in, these pro-black, trying to shame black men. My question to them is this. You ain't never got to shame nobody to get something. Like if you have a fistful of $100 bills, and that you're gonna shame me to come over there and get it. I'm gonna come over there and get that money. Mm-hmm. If something is good and valuable, and it can improve somebody's life, why would you have to shame them to get it? Because men are always looking for good women. So the question they have asked is, what is wrong with the product that black men are not jumping over the fence? Indian men, Chinese men, Japanese men are not jumping over the fence to get their hand on this product. That's what I would like to ask Omar and them this question. Why do you have to shame men to consume such a great product? Even Omar himself won't sign the contract or won't sign the deed.
Oh yeah, he loved black queens, but he never put a ring on not one black woman.
Right.
He's never put a ring on a black woman's finger, but he always called them queens. And it ain't nothing but a hustle, man. You know it's a hustle. It's always been a hustle.
It's big time hustle. But the shame that they use towards black men and the false statistics and whatever else, and the majority of the brothers love the women, that they grew up with. It's just that what is so difficult, what are women, not as a whole, there's exception to the rule, that certain men just won't marry them or won't be with them. What is the difficulty in it? Not just for their preferences, but what needs to be fixed. And they never want to talk about that because they always want to talk about the problems with the men. When we know that 56% of the black men don't even have kids, and over 60% are in the middle class. Mm-hmm. So there are single men out here. The question is, do they think that because they had these worthless degrees that they're so much better than the average men? Even average women making less than the average man think that they're so much better than them. And that's systematic in their minds because they have this false narrative of this quote unquote provider man from the past that for the black people and the black experience in America and mass never really existed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always been a group effort.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Listen, I'm gonna end it, bro. I'm gonna lift me some weights, man.
Okay, brother.
I think I'm going to. I'm gonna call you once I get off, man. I'm gonna go to the gun range, man, and start firing the weight, man. I might need to call you about some techniques, man. And I gotta get my testosterone up in case I had to kill somebody. But anyway.
No, man, you good. All right, man.
I'll see you on the back end, dog. We good.
All right, later, man.
All right, brother. Y'all be good. All right. So that's my man, Peaceful Life, guys. We're gonna end it here. I'm gonna end it here, guys. The government shutdown, chaos is ensuing. You guys know I ain't got all the fancy graphics no more because they were, StreamYard want $438. And I got the money, but I ain't paying $430. I might do it at some point this year, but yeah, I ain't got enough revenue to kick out almost $500 from the StreamYard. But anyway, I'll see you guys. Thank you to the 19 that watched. Thank you to the #1 sponsor in being the Wall Report. Shout out to the Wall Report being the #1 sponsor, followed by Ray Johnson, followed by Bashur, followed by Quiet Faith, followed by the International the Spirit, Revelated Spirit of Indifference. Guys, y'all stick together. Love one another. Love your neighbor, man, and let's keep hope alive and keep our fingers crossed because things are getting scary. So we're gonna end it here, guys. I will see you guys hopefully on tomorrow. Take care. Be good.